What is up? Oh. What is up, everybody, and welcome to, I guess I'm calling this the Jester Princecast reboot. I did this podcast a few years ago, and then I quit after 3 episodes, so let's see if I can do more than 3 episodes. I am your lovely and your illustrious host, Evan Simon, a.k.a. the Jester Prince, and I have guests today. Everybody, some fine gentlemen. I'm in this Facebook group, the kind of anime Facebook group. You guys should join it, okay? And I had to put up a Facebook post, and I was like, "Yo, gentlemen, does anyone want to come over here and like do a podcast with me?" And I had 3 very young, strapping men, so I'm going to introduce them. Number 1 on my list is a Mr. Antione. Hello, Mr. Antione. How are you?
Hey, how you doing today? I'm doing all right.
Antione, you told me that you work at NASA. Is that true?
Yeah, I actually, through the pandemic, I actually got laid off from my previous job
Ooh.
and got real lucky through networking and then ended up working at a much better job. So
Dude,
it worked out.
that's how that is sometimes, right? So, all right. So,
Yeah.
Antron, before we introduce the other guys, what is your favorite anime?
That's a hard sell. I don't really have a favorite anything, but I could tell you like right now I'm really digging ReZero, God of High School,
Ooh.
and if I ever recommend an anime to someone, it's always Beyond the Boundary as a get away from Dragon Ball Z, watch this instead.
Ooh. All right, Antron. Well, let's talk more about ReZero later today. Second one I have on my list is Mr. Ryan. What up, Ryan?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Now, Ryan, you were you came in at the last minute. You swooped down because it was just gonna be me and 2 other guys, but you were like, "No, Evan, I want to be on your podcast too." And I was like, "All right, Ryan, I'll let you do it." So, same question, Ryan. Like, what do you do? What's going on? Like, how is things treating you right now?
Well, actually, first off, I was the first person to comment. You have
Were you?
being confused with the other guy.
Was I?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, other guy.
That was me. Sorry.
All right,
It's all good, man.
Y'all have different. You're all names. But well, I'm sorry. I apologize, Ryan. You're the first person to call. But same question. How's life going on? How things are doing? You know.
We're just living in that quarantine world right now. I'm surviving, been playing some of that Avengers and watching some anime.
Ooh. What anime are you watching right now, Ryan?
God, at the moment, my 2 seasonal animes I've been watching is Rent-A-Girlfriend
Yes,
and God
you
of High
are.
School.
Well, one of those I like. I'm sure we'll talk about that one later on too. And last but not least, the real one, who is the last one. It was my mistake. I apologize for confusing you, Mr. Josh. How are you doing today, sir?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
I am fine. I am ready for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 to unlock in a few hours.
Oh yeah.
I'm working on my final script, or having my friend actually do a rewrite for me on my next script. So that's fun. But same question. What anime are you watching? What's your favorite? What do you want to talk about?
Okay. Well, my favorite anime. It's changed over the years, but I think it's probably One Piece currently.
Ooh, One Piece.
And the funny thing is, I switched to the manga because I couldn't wait for the anime. And yeah, I'm peeking. I'm sorry. Let me fix that. I just noticed that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to throw that off topic there, but I switched to the manga, but I still love the anime. I'm watching it, and I'm really enjoying it. But ReZero. Speaking of that, I just start that.
You guys want
recommendation?
Want to get? And I guess that's just a perfect segue, honestly, because I'm done with the introductions. Anyone else have any beef on that segue? Okay.
Nah.
So, ReZero, this is your very first time. How? Like how? Like this, I'm peeking too. Crap. But like, how are you only experiencing the love of the love of Satalia for the first time? Tell me about this, Ryan. Or Josh, whatever your name is.
It's Josh. Sorry.
My fault,
well,
not yours.
No, it's fine. I had heard of it, but like I said, there's a very big gap in what anime I've seen versus what I've heard of. So I didn't get into anime until real late in life, to be fair. But I have a lot of emotions. I'm not gonna lie.
And you're watching the director's cut, correct?
I watched the director's cut of the first episode.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Almost an hour.
You're in for
Almost
a
an
hurt
hour, I believe.
on this one.
Yeah.
Josh, like, you have it easy. I think did you guys all watch it when it aired in 2016?
Oh yeah.
And yeah, like if these guys can tell you, so can I. Like you have things easy. You can watch the director's cut. It's all there. You don't have to freaking wait a whole entire week to see what's happening next. But Josh, well, go ahead.
Well, let me just say, I started out, I was like, okay, it's another isekai. And then I was like, wait a minute. He's like aware. He's like a gamer, and he's like just the first scene that jumps out at me is when he's fighting at the very beginning when he first meets, what's the girl's name? I'm sorry, we're bad with names.
Amelia?
Amelia.
Yeah, he meets her, and he's like, and he goes down that alley, and he fights those guys, but he's like, oh, you guys are just a bunch of lumps of XP, and I was like, oh my god. But I love it, too. And then, like, I didn't expect it to get that dark.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, this got bloody and, like, dark.
You know.
Describe it other than that.
Oh, go
to
ahead.
kind of explain a little something right here, right? Imagine an anime, right, where the character can time travel, right? In an anime where a character has a power, especially in isekai, there's never a repercussion, right? It's not like the Flash where, you get separate worlds and stuff. This is one where he starts feeling the weight of his actions in a way that breaks the character. The character development is so good in this anime. Like, I've watched the season 1 2 or 3 times now, and the new season has gotten even crazier.
Dude,
you're in for a ride.
Talk about.
Trust me, I'm in now. So
talk like without spoiling anything, because you're just watching it, so we don't want to spoil anything. But I gotta say, talk about one of the most just. Like, there are very few characters that I have hated more, but also related more than Subaru. Like, I hate him so much just because you watch some of the stuff he does, especially, like, in the second half, and you're like, I hate you because I've done that before. At least that's my experience with
super
it, right?
cringy.
Because, like, I don't know, like, it is so, like, I I'm writing this in my new, in my new video that I'm doing. So minor spoilers for that, but it's like it's the type of show that it's trying to get that male otaku audience, right? And it basically is telling how male otakus are just terrible. It's essentially what it is, and it's just like you watch, and like I really love the art style. No one ever brings this up.
Oh,
the art style looks exactly like Sword Art Online. And that is not done by like mistake, right? Like you guys knows that too, right? Like, I'm not crazy.
Yeah, Sword Art Online is a whole other thing. I actually did like at least the first half of the first season of that, so I am familiar with that at least as far as isekais go. But yeah,
but yeah, like
I
think
I like Sword Art Online more than ReZero. That's my hot take for this episode.
That's
fine.
Wow. Hey,
wow.
But like my point is like. Like Sword Art Online is the quintessential isekai anime. That's what started it, right? Like I'm sure some anime historians could be like, "Oh no, this show did it," but like the first modern day popular isekai was Sword Art Online, and like I'm just saying, like I think Studio White Fox did ReZero. They looked at the exact art style and like, okay, we're gonna just copy the art style of Sword Art Online, because like characters from Sword Art Online could be in ReZero and vice versa. And it wouldn't seem out of place because their art styles are so similar to each other. At least that's how I feel. And so I think think that's done like specifically like that is like that wasn't a mistake. They're like, we're gonna make it look like the quintessential isekai, and then flip it off the table and be like, oh, bitch, no, it ain't.
Like you thought.
But no hate to Sword Art Online. It's not my cup of tea. But like that's such a tired old meme. Like
like I said, I people shit all over it, and I was like, I legitimately enjoyed the first part of the first season because I will say, like, I mean, can we get into spoilers here for Sword Art Online season 1?
Sure, I don't care about
Sword Art Online. The whole plot where they like built up what's her name? I can't remember her name. That shows you how much Asuna, like they built her up to be this like powerful female character, and then they're like, oh, she gets captured and you have to go save her because that's what we do now. I'm like. But you just built half a season that she was like able to take care of herself, and then you just go, "Oh, she gets captured by this guy, and he's really creepy," and it's like,
but
okay,
take care of herself in the game. Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Knowing what we know, that is true.
I remember when the newest season started, And like the thing about the Arthur Sword Online is I respect is he's a guy who like, you know, he probably started writing those books. So they first started off as like a web series before they were light novels, right? But he just started off as like random, you know, message boards or whatever. And he was obviously very young, kind of, you know, again, the young male otaku. And so a lot of that stuff in his writing really like shows that. But like what's great is like I think when the newest season airs, something like without spoiling that, something really kind of messed up happened to like two women, you know, and it's really messed up. And I think he treated that day when the episode came out, I could be wrong, but I think he treated that day. He was like, "Yeah, I don't write like that anymore." Like, 'cause it's been so many years since he wrote that, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I don't want to do that." And like, he actually rewrote the first book, I think, to try to be like, I guess, more progressive or whatever. So, you know,
That's
good.
Cool. Yeah, I wasn't shitting on the dude. I just thought that was like a trope, you know, like the strong character becomes like a damsel in distress kind of thing. But
Oh
maybe
yeah.
I'm wrong about that. Hearing that makes me like, okay, maybe I will check out the rest of Sword Art Online because that was like I'm not really one to like get harp on like certain things about certain cultures. Like, oh, I hate but that's a trope I don't really care for. Is damsel in distress. I'm like, okay,
Oh,
we've
yeah,
seen this
for
a million
sure.
times, you know.
If you like
Mario has to save the princess in every game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tired
If you
of
like
it.
the world and idea of Sword Art, but you weren't a fan of like Kirito and all of them, watch Sword Art Online, Gun Gal Alternative Online,
Oh, I have seen that come up before.
because it is just battle royale. It's just PUBG the anime with a pink lolly, and it's fantastic.
Pink lollipop. Well, you sold me, sir.
And it's written by the dude. I think I could be wrong, but I think he wrote Serial Experiments Lane too, or something. It was something weird. Like the guy who wrote it is like some weird person who like you would never expect to like write a sort of online book. But
What's crazy though is that I would say if you're gonna go through Sword Art Online again, it's kind of a rough sell because it does change like different games, and like the whole appeal of the first season, the first half of the first season was, hey, you know, there's a chance that we could die here. There's stakes. But they took that away kind of as it goes on because now they're just playing a video game. But in the current season, like he was saying, it's called Alicization. They brought that back. Like there's really like a stake here. Like somebody can die. These people can die. And the scene you're talking about, the quote unquote, we'll say gratuitous scene, there was another one later on with another character that we won't obviously spoil, but still, like, it becomes a thing where, okay, so you want me to shock you with this whole death plan, right? And then when people say it's too much and I change it, now it's too soft. Okay, so let's go back to how it was in the beginning. And now people are like, well, wait, we don't mean that though. No, we don't want that thing. We want that thing, but not that. Like, I don't know. It's so weird, you know, how people look
Season
at
2, I feel like was the perfect mix of it, where they had death because they had Death Gun,
Yeah.
but they didn't have like I feel like there was nothing like really that gratuitously like horrible like in the first half of season 1, and then now and Azuri, I cannot pronounce it to save my life.
Alicization, I think.
Yeah,
I
it's
know
really good though.
Alicization.
In fact,
Alicization, something like that. Yeah.
it's really good. I've been watching it, but I feel like season 2 was the best season. I stand by that.
I think a lot of these shows, and like you see, like, cause like, it's just how phenomenal and like I guess of an influence Berserk is.
Oh,
Cause like a lot of these shows, sort of online too. I think a lot of these writers, you know, they're young and they read Berserk and they see how graphic that is, or how sexual that is, and how violent that is, and it is very much so. But like I think they only focus on that part and they don't focus on like what makes Berserk most effective, which is like these human, like depressed, like just effed up characters, you know? And it's not just violence for violence sakes, but it's violence to tell a story. And I see a lot of these isekais just, I think, just trying to be Berserk, but not really understanding. No, it's not about the violence. It's about the people who are affected by the violence. And I think, you know, sort of online, not to dig it, but I think that is one of those things, right? When it's like, it is like that, you know? Because like,
let's be real for a second. Most isekais are more like, I don't want to be violent. I want to be a harem. So.
yeah, that was another thing about Sword Art Online. It's like this guy is like super unlikable, but every single girl he meets just like falls in love with him immediately.
Man.
Oh, so
I don't mean to shit on Sword Art Online. I love Sword Art Online. Don't get me wrong. I do. Now that I think about it, I have seen the first 2 seasons.
Strength breeds love, man. Don't you
Like
know?
his K to D ratio isn't even that high. Gosh.
Yeah, you swing a sword like a man, and all the women are gonna come after you. I learned that watching Berserk.
Swords.
Yeah, that Berserk. Speaking of Berserk, I actually own the first 6 volumes that I got recently, and I'm really excited to check it out. But,
Yeah, I have the first
You're
10.
in for a ride, man.
It is
Berserk
crazy.
fucking
Berserk
yeah,
is
I haven't
crazy.
found time to read it yet. I've just been kind of reading other stuff, but I'm excited to read it.
If
But
You know
decide
what show I
to
think
watch it-
does the modern isekai like feel really well with like dealing with some of the heavier tones? I think is Rising
another-
of the Shield Hero.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
Oh,
say
yeah.
another
Bring
word.
that up. That was one I've heard of, Rising of the Shield Hero. I was gonna see if you guys would.
I watched that show all in one day because I just like that's another thing because like I first heard about it in the first like 3 episodes I think like made like anime Twitter like liberal anime Twitter I should say like really PO'd right because there's some questionable themes that happened in the first episode but like after you get to episode like 4 like those all go away and it's kind of funny just because it's like. Do you have this series when it's like a lot of people are like accuse Shield Hero of being sexist, right?
Mhm.
But like the author tries so hard not to be sexist. It's almost it becomes sexist because of how hard they try not to be sexist, right? Because they're like, yeah, this is one woman, and she's terrible. But all the other women are awesome, and all the other dudes are terrible. Just this one woman is like the worst woman ever. But that's crazy. Like, yeah. Sorry to interrupt, but like, I really enjoyed Shield Hero a lot.
Oh, Shield Hero was one of my favorite animes. Was that last year?
A couple years ago,
Yes.
I think.
No, it was last. It was last. Well, yeah, it
Last
ended.
fall?
It ended last fall or spring. I can't remember, but it was just a year ago.
Because like,
It didn't. It didn't get any awards because of its the first scene in the whole entire not the first scene, the first episode took it out of the anime awards because they had a suggestive scene, and same thing with Goblin Slayer, like that didn't make it in there either.
Goblin Slayer. You know what's so
Oh,
great
no.
is have you seen any Goblin Slayer abridged series?
No, I haven't.
Those are
I haven't though. But...
Those are legitimately like don't even watch Goblin Slayer. Just watch Goblin Slayer abridged because those are legitimately because like it's already ridiculous as an anime, but the abridged series of course just plays up the ridiculousness. And it's so...
While we're on the subject of a bridge series, my buddy showed me one. It's 50% off. It's I think it's like
free
show's
one?
free.
50% off
Yeah,
is
I love
so
that
good.
show. I watched like the English dub to see what the actual voice actor for Nagisa sounded like. And he's like so innocent. I'm like, he turned him into a thug. That's hilarious.
This
reminds me of prison.
Favorite characters.
This reminds me of prison.
Man, a bridge series. That's a topic of conversation, man. I used to love me a bridge series back when I was a kid. There was like a Naruto one I used to watch. Like it was always funny watching the abridged series that like the guys couldn't get any girl actors, so they try and do the girl parts, and they're talking like this. And like you can't get like your sister to do something. Okay.
If we're bringing up abridges, I think we need to give a mention to Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, which is just
Oh yeah.
Classic. Was School of the Wars. I have green hair, right?
a...
It's crazy. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a crazy series, especially because like the manga is like completely different from the anime.
I have heard that.
Hell.
I have heard the manga is a lot darker. Like holy
Like
crap.
I think like Duel Monsters is only relevant to like the first arc, and then they don't do it ever again. But then the anime was like oh man, this is a moneymaker right here. So they end up rebooting it, right?
Yeah.
It's the other way around. For the first part of the manga, they just play random board games until one game is Duel Monsters, and it sticks to Duel Monsters for the rest of it.
That makes more
And there's
sense.
the infamous 4Kids dub.
You know, everyone gives like 4Kids some noise, but like I love the 4Kids dub to Card Captain Sakura. That dub, have you guys seen that one?
I only have no.
I did when I was a child, but I have zero remembrance of it.
It's
Of, like, quality.
it's so funny because like they make like they had to rename all the characters, so like Tomoyo, they called her like Madison and some shit, you know. And it's just one of those things when like it's not in Japan, but they like make you want to believe it's in Japan.
Oh jeez.
Best thing 4Kids ever did was the One Piece rap.
So
I
good.
will stand by that as well. I do enjoy that a lot.
I just wonder, like, what would it be now when like they have like 9 crew members? Like, how do they keep on going on
actually,
that rift?
Octopimp, the guy I was talking about that did 50% off, made a cover of it where he included the other
Oh,
members
cool.
of the crew. I'll link it to you at some point. But yeah,
I think it went
pretty
all.
cool.
Did it conclude Jabande?
It got to Jinbei, yeah.
Yeah.
He is only like, if you want to get technical, there's more characters, but yeah, I won't go into spoilers. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's 900 episodes. It's hard not to.
My buddy is actually watching. There's a guy, a YouTuber, totally not Mark, that's like reading the manga. And he's like, I'm kind of experiencing it. I'm like, I guess. I mean, you're experiencing it through somebody else who's telling you about it, but.
I don't like that I've been watching and reading One Piece for most of my life.
Oh, I got into it a few years ago, so I'm not nearly as well versed as you are, clearly.
So I have a love-hate relationship with One Piece, right?
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
For
please
sure.
don't.
So One Piece is one of those animes that I was like, okay, cool. We no longer have a Bleach, right? I haven't
Yeah.
watched anything in a while that, well, I say no longer have a Bleach, but Bleach was kind of all over the place also. But it was like, Dragon Ball Z is kind
We
of
no longer have a Bleach. Gone.
Right.
Until
Dragon
next year.
I use Fabuloso
unfortunately-
myself.
But this was like 7 or 8 years ago,
Before it
And,
was even.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, and we don't have any Dragon Ball Z content coming out, except we obviously had the most recent season come out 2 years ago. So I was like, guys, I'm gonna start this One Piece journey. I think at the time there were only 300, maybe 400 episodes.
Oh, that was a while ago then.
Yeah.
Did
So I
time
was,
skip happen yet?
That is definitely pre-time skip. I know that. I can tell you
Yeah.
that right now.
hang on a second. Sit still for this ride, boys. Okay. So I was like, you know what? I'm working night shift. I'm gonna binge this whole entire thing. I sat in my office chair for I don't know. I want to say the better part of 3 weeks trying to button the show up. And I got caught up. I did, and there were parts of the show that were really good. Obviously, past spoilers, like the whole Ace situation, the prison escape situation. Like some of those things were really, really good, but then there's some sections that like are canon that I just cannot.
There is an entire arc that is not filler but feels like filler.
Am I allowed to use foul language here? Because
we're long
full
enough.
time, right?
We're long enough into the podcast. You two ain't gonna pick it up.
So, like, why do I have to spend a whole entire arc hearing about a woman made out of candy? Like, I really don't give a shit. Like, let's get back to finding the One Piece. Let's get back to this. Cool, I get it. Usopp thinks he's the king of the world. Luffy put him in his place. Great. Okay, so we need to fight Don Flamingo now. Cool, but why do we need 30 episodes first of literally Luffy running around the city trying to find a piece of meat? Can't deal with it. It's too much. And if the show ends and somebody puts out like hey, if you want to follow like the action and the full story, just like they did with Naruto, also they put out a list of episodes to skip and to watch, and I'll probably just do that.
Yeah,
I think
And then
that's
Naruto machete cut.
there are sites that let you do that. Like you look in and like you can just look up filler lists for One Piece and sure.
No,
That's
I
how.
think it's called. Sorry, go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
I was just saying that's how I watch One Piece. So I was just say.
I believe there is something somebody did similar to that. I think it's called One Pace or something like that. I don't know. I've never looked it up, but somebody was telling me about that. Somebody has done that where they like, if you want to catch all the action, just skip these episodes. Like they put it into a thing for you. But
Yeah, so the last part that I watched was like when they were on an island and it turned out to be a turtle, and they were like, we've been living there, and I don't get it anymore. It got too outlandish, and I mean, I as I was called today, a young strapping gentleman made me excited because I am 37 years old, so it puts me in a position where I'm like, I really don't have the time for this.
That's one of the reasons I switched to the manga. The pacing was ridiculous. Like I love this anime and I probably will always love it, but the pace. I'm sorry. I
The
gotta switch
pacing's
to the manga.
terrible, dude. Like, there's one episode, like, when someone gets, like, stabbed. I kid you not. The episode starts when someone gets stabbed, and the next 20 minutes is just shots of different people reacting to them getting stabbed. And that's the whole entire episode. It's like, no! When they cut to other people.
Oh, no.
I stopped watching at Wano and just started reading.
I stopped watching it Marine first.
Holy shit!
man.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna catch up on the manga now. I'm just like, I can't wait anymore. I was getting spoilers.
That's just the old way of making anime, right? When it's like, we don't want to do seasons. We just want to make it one long continuous thing. So we're gonna do everything our power to slow it down. We're gonna slow down the pace. We're gonna add like a whole 3.5 minute long opening sequence, which they
And
do.
a recap.
Yeah,
With 5 commercials and a recap.
Like, that's like the old way. Like I remember like when a few years ago I met these motherfuckers who would like speed One Piece, right? They were like, yeah, I watched One Piece on like tri-speed,
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Oh.
Because like that's the way you do it. And they're like, yeah, like you skip the OP, skip the ED, skip the recap, you put it on tri-speed, and you get episode done in 5 minutes.
You know it's really bad when you know exactly what time to start each episode and then start the next one and you're like, oh man, that was all of 11 minutes out of a 24-minute episode. This is BS.
I just want to say, One Piece, I love One Piece, and it probably will remain one of my favorite animes, but I can't recommend it to people. I understand why people don't like bounce off of it. I mean, I did the same thing. I have read the manga now. The manga is fantastic.
I started watching One Piece when I was 8, and I'm 23 now, so I'm too invested in my life.
I don't blame you there. Like, so many animes that people grew up with, I didn't watch until a few years ago. Like, for example, DBZ, Dragon Ball Z, I never saw it as a kid. And you know what? I liked it a lot, but is it this? I understand it, like, but
Dragon Ball Z as an adult.
Yeah, it was like, I don't really care for it, honestly.
So the reason why you don't care for it is because how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
27.
Okay, so if you grew up with a show, say you guys were talking about Yu-Gi-Oh, you know a bunch about Yu-Gi-Oh. I am older. I don't care for it. I have friends that are younger that play the card game and they're on to it. I'm a Magic the Gathering player because obviously I'm a little bit older.
Yeah.
But Dragon Ball Z is just like a Mario game, right? People will tell you it's the greatest thing on the whole entire planet. Swear up and down and pay for every single iteration of the game solely based off of nostalgia. Has nothing to do with how good it is. It's literally about like the memories they had while watching it. Man, I used to come home from school and turn on Toonami, and bam, it was Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, and Dragon Ball Z, the best anime that's ever existed. And I'm like, man, you need to broaden your horizons because there's so much more out there.
There's a ton of anime. That's why I like. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying, but that's all they watch. I have friends that are like, man, I only watch Dragon Ball Z and Naruto, and I'm like, but I have all this
so much.
You can watch.
You have so much. You haven't seen.
Like,
I'm trying to think of like some random show. It's like,
I'm getting excited.
You haven't seen Yuri Yuri? You're not on that Yuri Yuri train, boss?
Well, My Hero Academia is dope, though.
My Hero, dude, I had to stop. Like, I loved My Hero Academia, but I had to stop. I gotta be honest with you guys.
It got boring.
Because like
last season rough. Yeah.
I love. See, I think we might disagree because everyone hates like the opposite of what I love, because I love the overhaul arc, right? Like when the waiting, that was awesome. I'm like, this is amazing.
Really interesting. Okay.
But when I was reading the manga, I got to the school festival arc, and I'm just like, I can't do this.
Man, what is it? The Gentleman Criminal or what? Criminal.
I was like you can't go like. Sorry to interrupt, but like Overhaul is like the baddest motherfucker in the whole entire show, and like you have this one, it's this guy who like has tea and he spills tea and he's a YouTuber. He's like Jake Paul.
Yeah, pretty much is so anime bad. Jake Paul.
he's the next bad guy after motherfucking Overhaul, and I'm just like, I can't, like, I've tried to go back to the anime, I try to reread go back to the manga, and I just can't get past that arc.
literally the last episode of the arc was the best part of it, and not because it ended, but because like he did get into like a brawl with the criminal dude, which was pretty cool. And then the festival, I guess, was kind of neat to watch, but otherwise it felt real flat. Like it felt like a training montage with no actual training, and it was bad.
Any of you
manga's
guys see the
popping
most
off.
recent movie?
I haven't yet. I was waiting for it to come out.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Have you?
I had a place to say, but I'm not going to spoil it. It's like
Okay,
ending
okay.
spoilers.
I will say the manga is popping off right now, so you should definitely.
The
reading it.
manga is ridiculous.
Yeah,
right
the
now.
last chapter. Ooh, good stuff.
Yeah, I hear a lot of crazy stuff is happening. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It might be one of those things where I just like see what happened in the School Festival arc and move down, because I know some spoilers too. I'm like, okay, that's pretty awesome. I should get back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, if you can't get past it, like skip to I can never think of the arc names from My Hero. Like the one right after school arc. It's
Mhm.
fantastic. And then just from there it's a fucking roller coaster.
I mean,
Popping off ever since then. Yeah.
I do want to see like Junko like singing, because I seen that and I was like, all right, I want to see that. But like, that's
Just
all I
skip to
wanna
that
see.
ending part of the
Yeah.
episode. It's good.
What else? So, gentlemen, someone else mentioned an anime that has like been a meme on my point. You know, I think a lot of people say this is the only anime I watch currently, but I think it's the After Re:Zero. I think is the best of the season, and that is that Ren-A-Girlfriend. Y'all watching that?
My God, so
I've
good.
seen your posts about it, I believe, in the anime group.
So
good.
good.
So good.
Like it's
If
one
you
of
want
the.
to watch,
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
You start. You start.
okay, I was gonna say, did you ever watch the movie with a young comedian, Ben Stiller, called Meet the Parents?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, of course, classic.
So it's Meet the Parents, right? But the whole entire movie is just the scene with Ben Stiller trying to convince everybody that cats can be milked. Legit,
Can you milk me?
exactly. Legit, the whole show feels like that. Every time we turn another corner, like that like weird, cringy, like you're trying to back away from the TV. There's nowhere to go. You're in your own damn house, but you still keep watching like a train wreck. That's what this show is, and it's fantastic. I love it.
It's so good. Like a lot of people hate Kazura. What's you guys' opinions on Kazura? Just real quick. Let me get the feel of the room here. Like Kazura, yeah or nay?
Oh, what's her?
He's for a harem anime.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the better MCs
Oh,
I've seen because he actually has a
sure.
personality.
For sure.
So
Like, is he a tool? Kinda. But
I feel like the
at
thing
least
is,
that
like he's
personality.
He's like a Trinio. That's my thing. Is like he is a Trinio college student who's like, again, like probably watched anime. I was like, yeah, everyone's like, oh, I hate him. I'm like, yeah, but like he is like I was that person. I've knew other people who was that person. Like he is authentic. So that's why I love him. But what are you guys' opinions?
Most
on him?
recent episode made me cringe hard though.
So here's the thing, right? I'm sorry, I have a lot of opinions on these things, right? So I
Do
think
tell.
he's a great harem. So okay, so we can't talk about whether he's good or bad without comparing him to somebody else, right? I'm gonna bring up somebody just as controversial by the name of Issei, right?
I
My
love
man
Issei.
my
Issei,
man-
don't talk bad about my boy, okay?
I'm not talking bad about the boy Issei. But if you take the comparisons of the two, right? Issei was like, boobs and boobs and boobs and boobs, and women. Whereas our current character, our main character, is more or less like, hey guys, I just really want to find somebody that cares about me, and I really like this person who obviously doesn't like me back, and now I found somebody that I may have the potential to be in a relationship with. Yeah, I got a high sex drive, but what 20-year-old male doesn't?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just trying to make this particular relationship maybe blossom into something. I fell in love with somebody I should not have, and I'm trying to keep her around any way I can. That's any male on the planet, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I don't know about you guys, but I've been there when like you meet a girl and like it's not gonna work out, and it's not, but like you just can't help but like you just gotta shoot your shot, right?
Yeah. And even if your shot's not gonna work, the problem with the MC is that like many anime females, even as well, they do the whole stalker thing. Like they got to know what they're doing next and stuff. And there was and not really spoilerish, but there's like a part in the most recent episode where like they're saying like because of the things that he's observing with this girl he likes, he's taking too much damage. Like they're actually saying like this is mentally hurting him, putting himself in this situation. So they try to keep him down to earth, and I like it. But then when like they cut scene and they throw a fucking Kleenex into the trash can, I'm like, man, we didn't need that.
That was that scene when he realizes he likes Chizua because he jerks off to the other girl, and then he kept on seeing her. I mean, we've all been there, right, guys? We've all been there.
I have not been there, but you know,
That's
okay.
That's probably why.
Like I watched that, and I'm just like, oh yeah, it's my boy. I'm just like, at least, I'm just gonna say, like, you know, not to be too gross, I'm saying at least he's like mature enough to use a napkin, okay? Because like, you try to say Evan, 20 years old, had the courtesy to use a napkin. No.
Oh my god.
No, son.
My
My blanket was like a sheet of wallpaper.
glass.
I don't
No.
know.
Stiff. Drop
I
out.
was gonna say drywall, but I couldn't think of it.
Oh no.
I couldn't
Uh,
shatter it.
Oh my God, just accidentally drop a corner and it breaks off.
that is
God
the
damn.
college. That is the college
Christ.
life, you know.
Oh
Ah,
my
man.
Yeah,
God.
you gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta do what you gotta do, and then like,
I-
and then your like roommate walks in on you, and you just like, don't mean to stop, man. I'm just gonna grab my keys.
Oh,
Sock up a door. Sock up a
the
door.
homie.
The homie. I had like, I probably should be saying this, but I'm gonna. I had a roommate in college one time, who told me, Evan, can you make sure you do that in the bathroom? And I was like, okay. But then, hold on, because I hear the silence. I know it's getting awkward, but be with me. But then, at like nighttime, when I was trying to sleep, I would hear.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
I'm like, you motherfucker. You know?
Oh, you want to battle? You just like you turn your hat around like Pokemon battle. Like,
Squirtle, I choose you.
Oh my God. What has this devolved into?
I know we had 30 minutes until they were in the masturbation.
Damn it.
I love it though. This is fun.
Oh man.
So anime.
Yeah.
Back to anime.
Or anime.
Nah, I like me a good harem show, man. Like it reminds me, Ren-A-Girlfriend reminds me a lot of like Nisekoi, but good. That's
Oh,
my
and
two-
Yusaki.
Oh yeah. Well,
That's my
Nisekoi was
two-cent.
good until the last 5 episodes.
Every time I want to watch Nisekoi, I watch it because it's a Shaft anime, and I just love the way Shaft animes look. But then everything else about it, I'm just no, I can't handle that. You guys seen that show?
I feel like Captain America right now. You know, like,
Oh
it's like,
yeah.
I'll add it to the
Well,
list. I'll
what
add it to the list.
shows? What shows have you watched then? That you
A
know?
lot of like shonen stuff. I'm not gonna lie.
That's fine.
I'm
No,
shonen
nothing
trash.
wrong
I'm
with
shonen trash, and I'm proud. Okay.
Nothing wrong with shonen. You watching that Black Clover?
I have been, yeah.
Talk
I'm
to
so
me.
disappointed.
Talk to me a little bit.
I mean, well, I'm behind, but that's par for the course right now because I'm still working.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I watched Gintama.
No offense. that sounded worse than I meant to do. I'm
Oh,
sorry
no,
about that.
oh,
I forgot
no,
you said
like-
you weren't working earlier.
I'm probably gonna be going back work in the next couple of weeks or so it's all good.
There you go.
I would get on emails, and if not, you know, I don't know. I can call that roommate again. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
it's like, yeah, it's rough trying to. I feel like I go to work and I
Mhm.
come home and it's pretty much
Mhm.
the same thing. Quarantine is basically like the same thing every day. It really kind of sucks right now.
Oh yeah,
So
you don't even
I-
know.
You got to find the more motivation to like watch stuff and like I don't know. Well, my attention span is garbage right now.
I think everyone's attention span is like that. You know.
I'm not speaking just for me. I'm sure you guys have the same kind
Oh.
of problem where you're like, I can't focus on anything fun right now. But
For sure. Like I think that's the hard part. You know, when we talk about quarantine and we talk about everything that's been going on, it's just this type of this like feeling of just like I don't know how to describe it, but like at the beginning there was a lot of like uncertainty, you know, about what's going to happen You know, where I'm gonna get my next food, like where I'll be to pay rent, yada yada, or like, you know, what's gonna happen with my job if you guys were to keep it or whatever. But like nowadays, like it's just we don't even know if it's a tail end or not. Like we have no idea. Like it's going way longer than we thought it would be. But now it's just like, man, like it's just all the same. It's like, what day is it? You know? It's just like you're like Subaru, you're stuck in a time loop, you know? And it's just like
I'm going to be honest with the crowd right now. The only time I know it's a day is because Fridays, that's when Rent-A-Girlfriend and Hey.
No, man, you gotta have something to look forward to. I feel that, man. Like,
Oh my
oh
god.
god, dude, it sucks right now. Like, not to get down, to be a downer. I like when we went from masturbation to this. It's like that's all.
that's what the podcast is, though. You know.
This is fun.
What are you guys? You know, if you don't want to say, don't speak. But like, are you guys doing anything to keep you guys like sane? I guess during this time.
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah. So I live with my fiance and her best friend, and it's difficult. It's a difficult time for your boy Antoine. And the problem here is that, so you know, I'm very good about being clean. I have to actually go to my office at NASA, and my previous job before I got laid off, I had to go in and out. But they're work from home until the foreseeable future now. And so, you know, I go out, put on my mask, I disinfect my hands, I come in the house, spray the door down, whatever. That's been like the routine. But now that things have kind of relaxed, I'm in the state of Virginia. So we've been pretty safe as a state for a long time until recently we started like getting an abundance of cases. So just recently, my roommate was out to dinner. She goes out to the bars and stuff now, which is not smart, but with a friend of ours who just tested positive like 8 days ago. So I work on base now with NASA, and I've only been there for a couple of weeks. I literally started the job July 13th, but I started going in on an A and B schedule. Like we're only in like 2 days 1 week, 3 days another week, and then work from home.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey guys, like my roommate was, you know, near somebody that, you know, for a night essentially that tested positive, and they're like, don't tell anybody, you know, don't whisper anything to anybody, like stay home, don't come in for 10 days. And I'm like, do I still have a job? Like this sucks. Like it's been rough, but I've been putting a lot of Gundams together. I've been watching anime.
Yeah.
Got a whole stack of Gundams to build and stuff. Playing a lot of video games and just trying to stay safe like everybody else, man. It's been rough.
Yeah, dude. Like, I feel like my life hasn't honestly changed that much, you know, besides the not working part. But, like, everything else has just been, like, you know, I was kind of like a home buddy to begin with. And, like, it's interesting. It's interesting seeing some people because, like, I'm the type of person who's, like, kind of built for that. Like, honestly, like, my sister is, like, messaging me, calling me. He's like, Evan, you need to get a girlfriend. You need to get, you know, someone in your life to take care of you. And I'm just like, fuck that. You know? Like, I'm happy being alone. But then you see, like, a lot of...
Introverts for the win!
Dude, you see so many people who are just like, ugh. Like they can't handle it. And, like, it sucks. Because, like, it's like, man, like, you know, it sucks that you're, I guess, like, you're having a hard time doing something that I'm just, like, I don't care about. And so it's like, what does that tell you about me and yourself, you know? Like, I don't know. People are crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, I'll tell you what's going on with me. And I don't know if I really brought it up, but I work at the Veterans Affairs. I'm a janitor, so there's nothing glamorous. But I work in the like the nursing home facility part of the hospital, which we have here in Cincinnati. But and it's like, my life hasn't really changed as far as the work I'm doing, but like I get tested every single week for COVID. I think up the nose. Every Tuesday I go into work, and around 11 a.m. they come tell us to go do it, so I get it done. And it's like, the only problem with that is like they don't tell you unless you have it, which I think is very flawed because like I'll go the rest of the week worrying, and it won't be until I talk to my doctor when I see him on I see him every Friday after my therapist. I'll be honest with you guys, and I see him every Friday, and I'm like, okay, I'm worried that I got COVID. He's like, no, you don't have it. I looked at your test; it came back negative. I'm like, why don't they tell me? Like that's my source of anxiety. Like I don't understand why they wouldn't tell me immediately, so I don't like as soon as they can. And it takes a couple days, but like.
This is a fun mystery to leave them on.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything to help you deal with that anxiety, though?
Oh yeah, I'm on some meds and stuff, but like,
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just weird time right now, but I'm trying to get
Yeah,
through it.
so I'm like a mixture between Antron and Evan, where I work from home. That's like what my job is. So I'm used to being at home all the time.
Mhm.
But I had a very tight group of friends before this happened. Like we would hang out literally. We had like days of the week we all hung out because we all work and stuff.
Yeah.
And the other weird thing for me was I was in my last semester of college when this all began.
Oh.
So I graduated.
Dude,
during
that
this.
sucks, dude, man. That sucks.
Kinda, but then I didn't have to do any of the photos or go anywhere. They just mailed me something, and that's kind of great.
That's
So you are kind of in the middle somewhere where you're like, I don't mind it, but also like you wish certain things, but you also don't mind certain.
I miss going out to eat with my friends and seeing them and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, for sure, yeah.
But I don't miss the mundane things because like I think I went like and when this first began like 2 months without leaving the house. I just had my food and shit delivered. And all that, and I'm like, then you go out to the outside world for the first time, like, oh shit.
That's kind of what I did, where it was like I realized I spent a lot of time on my own anyway, and now I'm like regretting it, sorta. Like, excuse me, I wish I would have like put. Now I'm like, oh man, if only I would have like tried making more friends or whatever. Like, 'cause I have a couple friends I speak to a lot, but like as far as like actually hanging out with people, not very often, even before COVID. So
yeah, like that's just like the thing, and it's like, for me particularly, like I'm trying to like I'm like, should I like get more friends, because like without getting into details, like I just lost like a very like close friend of mine for stuff that I'm not at liberty to really discuss. But it's like after going through that, it's like, man, I need. I'm 26, like, I need to get my stuff together. Like, I'm working at a movie theater right now, so of course, movie theaters aren't opened. And, like, I've been trying to find, like, I probably applied to 200 other jobs, so it is, like, I'm not just, but, like, no one's hiring, like, no, I have a communications degree, but, like, no one gives a crap about a communications degree, right? That's just, like, reality, so it's, like, man, what what do you do? But it's really interesting because, like, for me personally, like, I always historically struggled with self-confidence issues, like, way before COVID. Like, ever since I was a kid, I was always kind of, like, thought that, I was never good enough for anything, or I was a failure, and that would, like, really stop me from trying anything. But, like, funnily enough, like, everyone, in quarantine, I was like, I'm gonna try to make I'm trying to make a loaf of bread. I never made bread before. I'm just gonna try to make a loaf of bread. I looked it up. I failed the first time because I think it's because I didn't put enough water in there. I failed the second time ish because I put like way too much water in there. But I was like, oh, I'm just gonna keep on putting more flour in. Just gonna put more flour in. Like, I can fix this. And eventually, I got the dough to like actually work. And I put it in the oven, and 30 minutes later, bro, I had a loaf of bread. And, like, I made something, like I did that, and like I failed at first, but then I learned, and so then you're like, well, what else can I make? What else can I make? And like I've been cooking a lot. I made some cinnamon rolls, which like killed me because I don't know if you guys ever tried like rolling cinnamon rolls before, but if you don't work out, let me tell you, it's a workout. I'm gonna say that. But like I started doing that, and I started doing like cooking other stuff, and I just like a lot of the stuff I cook, like it is like a fair, like I do kind of fail, but it's like I know why I failed. Like, oh, I put too much salt in there, or I put too much like garlic powder in there. Like, okay, what can I do to fix it? And it's just, and that has been like I guess the positive point for this whole situation for me. Is like it kind of forced me to like, gain confidence, I guess, another way to put it. And then now I'm just like, as cheesy as it sounds, I was like, okay, but what's like the one thing I always wanted to do that I was too afraid to do? I'm like, let's freaking start a YouTube channel, Evan. Let's see that. And I made a YouTube video, and it was like, it's not perfect, but like, I've been missing out. Like I was very proud of what I did. And I'm just like, and that's, I guess, like my message, not trying to like say, pat myself on the back. But I think if anyone's listening, or you guys are listening, I think that's my number one message is like, you should start if you're feeling I'm no psychologist, but what I would say is like if you ever feel like you can't do something, like find something small to do, or you feel things are hopeless, like find something small to do, and then let that small thing become like a bigger thing, and then learn a new skill. Because like eventually, if like you learn how to do something, keep up with it, you're gonna be good at it, right? And then that's just gonna make your confidence go better, and that's just gonna make you, pursue other things and pursue different relationships. And so, for me personally, like it's been like it's not been the best time because like I said, non-employed and don't have an income, but also it's like I do think it's gonna be a positive experience. So, is there anything that you guys can kind of say that? This time in my life, you might look back to, I learned something, or I was able to take this, and I was able to do something. Whether it's like something you've never done before, or like at least maybe another perspective. Like, you guys have anything like that?
Well, just, I mean, if you guys want to go first, I didn't want to talk over anybody. I keep doing that. I apologize. I'm just excited.
Yeah.
I've never done this before, but it's fun. I'm sorry.
I'll take the reins here. Thank you. I appreciate you giving me. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I learned to 3D print, and I learned I learned some mechanical work because when you own a 3D printer, they don't work. You have to put them together yourself. You have to learn how motors work because if it breaks down, like there's no tech support, there's no customer service number you can call for them to help you. It's literally just scour the internet for information, find the part, replace the part, or remove the gunk, or add a new tube, or jerry rig this part, or 3D print a part to make it work better. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, I've been putting together models. I've never done that before. That's been a new.
Are you painting them?
Not yet.
You're gonna move yourself up to painting them, you think, or no?
So I am terrible at art. I'm musically inclined. I play 6 instruments. I am not artistically inclined when it comes to creation. So like I can build them, and I learned how to panel line, which is like, making it look more 3D like and stuff instead of like flat colors. I have a few friends in my own Discord where they're, they're airbrushing and they're sanding and painting and posing, and I'm like, nah, man, they look cool on my shelf.
Yeah.
So that's been kind of my thing. But just like you, it took me a while, man. Like, keep your head up. Like, I applied to numerous jobs because especially when you're on unemployment, you're forced to at least apply to a couple a week, and it was rough. It was not easy. I was scared when I lost my job, and I kept going and kept my head up, and finally I got something. So it gets better.
Yeah, for sure. What about you guys? You guys have anything to add?
I have something I'm gonna try. Sorry. I'm sorry. I need to shut up.
It's all good, man.
I'm decided, and I don't know. I'm just sorry about that.
But since I've ended college and everything before COVID actually was supposed to before COVID happened, I had some pretty cool internships lined up. I'm a journalism major.
Ooh, cool.
I had some cool stuff lined up for over the summer, and that got swept out from under me. So I was like, "There's the career path that I had planned for the past 2 years gone. We'll rebuild from here."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of just got back into what I'd been doing, writing, stuff like that. Really just been trying to work on like my craft, like I feel like everyone else here has been saying. I'm a writer, and I kind of got away from that because when you write all the time for school and everything, you kind of lose passion for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially like creative writing and stuff like that. So I've been doing a lot more of that, and yeah, you just gotta find things that you're in this time that you're passionate about and really latch onto those and have fun with it. Look for the little things in this weird, dark time.
What about you? You got anything?
Okay, I can go now. I'm sorry
for
talking
sure.
to everybody. Like I
Do
said,
it.
it's just the first time I've done this, so I don't know when to speak, and
that's all Zoom meetings. That's all Discord talks. Don't worry, everyone does that.
One of the things that's been kind of like a constant in my life is I joined a D&D campaign online.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
And I've really taken to enjoying that, so much so that I want to learn to DM.
Nice.
And I'm like looking into it, and I'm like reading all the books, and like this is so cool. But I'm like, I don't know. It's a lot of work, and I know if I had planned even doing like a one shot would take a lot of work. And I know that if I'm tempted to like just get some friends and be like, look, we're gonna do this. This is how you play. Let's just run this campaign. And I'm looking into one, and I'm like, my brother-in-law has already said he will play with me. He's like, I want to. He's our DM normally. He's like, I'll let you run a game. You don't know that you're gonna be. I was telling him I was like, oh, I don't think I'd be good at it. He'd be like, well, how do you know until you try?
Yep.
You've never done it before. Of course you're not. You don't know if you're good at it. And I was like, okay. And I'm looking into it, and there's a lot that goes into it, but I want to try. And like I take into like for our D&D campaign that I'm in before, another one is it's like space themed, so we have like logs and stuff that we can type up after our missions are done. And the DM wants everybody to take a crack at it. And basically, like, just to give you, sorry, word vomiting right now, but just what happened previously was basically there was some awkwardness, and he wanted me to like address it as my character. So I wrote up this like big prepared speech, like, we can do this, guys, and he's like, that was really good. He's like, now you've shown me you can do it, so now I'm gonna expect more of you. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but like, I really enjoyed writing the logs for that, and I have a journal entries for my character and stuff. Like, I really enjoy that. See, what you said about creative writing got me on this tangent, but that's why I wanted to write the DM, because I was like, just writing my own stuff would be super cool. And I know the players are probably never going to use most of it, because that's usually how D&D works. I don't know if you guys have played. Like, you have all this stuff prepared, and they just do something completely off the wall.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like excited to give it a shot, and that's one of the things I'm like trying to look into, because it sounds super fun.
So I'm a sanctioned Wizards DM for their game nights and stuff in my local shop.
Oh yeah.
And DMing is really, really fun and rewarding. There's a lot of really cool videos. I'll send you the link for this dude's video that I watched, the 9 types of problem players.
Mm-hmm.
Once you watch that and you learn how to deal with different types of players, it gets really easy. It seems like a lot of work because, you know, you want to make sure everything's perfect. You want to prep. You want to make sure you have your story in line. But seriously, just start by getting one of the D&D adventure books and just going down the line of that book. Like, it literally step by step tells you exactly what to do. If you're playing in person, it's easier. If you're playing using like Roll20 or something like that, it's a little bit more difficult because you have to like prep the sheets on the game and stuff like that. But they're very simple. They're not as difficult as you think. Once you look at one of those like one-shot books, they're really easy. Just read it through once, and then going through it with the players is simple as just reading a book to them.
Yeah, I'm excited to give it a shot.
Yeah,
I did D&D once, and it was just like a joke, because it was like I had a whole bunch of friends who were like not D&D players, but I had one who was, and he never DM'd before. But I'm like, yo, because he did play D&D, but he just never DM'd. I was like, yo, be our DM. And there's a whole bunch of people who are just like, not the people who you would expect to play Dungeons and Dragons at all, which was like, that's why it's gonna be so funny. And it was a fun time. Like, I was like a like I forgot what I was, but I was like of course I was a lady. I was like a pansexual like elf lady who could like shapeshift, and like every time someone was like the DM was like, okay, so what do you want to do? And I would go, ha ha ha, I undress. He's like,
no.
Really?
Wait, were you playing a bard? Because that's like a bard trope. Is like the
definitely
bard.
a druid thing.
Yeah.
Well, the shape-shifting is, but as far as like being like, maybe that's a druid thing. I guess it's more of a druid thing, isn't it?
Being eccentric.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's called. You can fill me in, but like my friend was like the cyborg, right? And so I was like, oh, so I'm just everything I'm gonna do is just me trying to like have like, you know, quotation marks, have sex with my friend, like his character. So I'm just gonna keep on like messing with him like that. It was really fun just to mess with him like that. Yeah, man. D&D is fun. I tried to DM once with somebody, but it never got further than that. But you know,
My groups keep falling apart. We get like a year into it, not like 6 months, and then they fall apart usually. But I'm trying to find one that will stick for long.
Yeah, scheduling is really difficult when it
Especially
comes to
right
getting
now.
adults together.
Yeah, that's kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is that like here's a question. This is like a D&D newbie question, but like, if your character dies, your character is just dead.
Depends.
Right.
There's a lot of different types of death in D&D.
Okay. Because like I was like, I don't want to work too much on this character just to have them die, and then have to like restart a whole entire new character again. But I guess it depends on who you're playing with.
There are different stages of owning a D&D character, right? There's the honeymoon phase, I made this character, I made a background, it's fantastic, I love it, I can't wait to play it, right? Then there's you're in game that he goes either one or two ways. One, this character wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be, doesn't really fit in the group, or man, this character is awesome. And then the next phase is, man, I should really start thinking about my next character because I keep doing stuff to almost get myself killed. So but the thing about D&D is that, like, say your character does die, then like your friends can, talk to the DM, maybe take up a quest to find a way to resurrect you, or maybe your DM has those precautions in mind. So like if I was running a game and one of the PCs died, I would pull them inside, hey, it sucks, your character died. Do you want to stick with this character, or are you looking at trying something different? If they wanted to stick with a character, I would say, okay, so you guys need to bring the character's ashes to X temple or something to have a priestess pray over them, and then resurrect the corpse. But the thing is that, like, some DMs will be like pretty funny about it. Like, there are different types of resurrection spells. One is like true resurrection, which you come back as your normal self, and then there's other ones like reincarnation, which druids learn how to use, which you roll like dice, and then depending on where the dice land, it can change your race, it can change your class, you could become an animal, it could be a lot of weird stuff. So it just depends on who you're playing with, and your character doesn't move from table to table. So if that group you played with no longer plays, that character is now obsolete, unless who you're playing with allows you. Yeah. Yeah. Essentially, every table you end up on with different people, just think of it as putting a new game in your video game system.
Yeah.
So I guess we can go there. Are you guys playing anything at the moment you want to talk about?
I'm trying to think.
Avengers. Yep.
Talk to me,
That is...
cause like, I'll be honest, and it's one of those things, another thing about being unemployed is you have no money to spend on video games, is like, I looked at Avengers, and it's just, I mean, for one thing, I just don't like, what do you call it, live service games, but, and also, like, the same old complaint, like, the characters just kind of look weird. But, like, sell me on it. Like, what do you guys like? Everyone seems to be liking it, so just go ahead, talk to me about it.
Have you played, like, Warframe?
No, the closest thing I played Anthem and I played Destiny.
Okay, Anthem is perfect. Perfect example. Imagine if Anthem released 2.0 tomorrow, right? And they had content after beating the campaign. And there were more than 10 weapons in the game for you to use. And you can game with your friends and everything worked flawlessly, right?
Flawlessly, you say?
But those characters are Marvel characters.
Okay.
This is what I'm playing right now.
So you're enjoying it? Because, like, I mean, I'm a hypocrite because, like, I want to play Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, but that's just because it's a Rocksteady game. And, like, I'm just going to play whatever Rocksteady makes. But, like, so you're enjoying it, a lot?
Yeah, it's fun. So the campaign's pretty short, but you come to realize that it's really, the whole campaign is like 10 to 15 hours of tutorial. It literally has you unlock each original Avengers character, and it has you do segments of those characters' story, for them to all assemble and come together. They have their side stories, but it's meant to kind of train you on how each character plays. And then at the end, it's a culmination. You have your whole team built. Then you have to go out and, assemble with either people online, or you have AI companions that, will be your level when you jump in to help you, if you want to solo play. I've been having a total blast. Smashing things with the Hulk is fantastic. I would say if you like playing games with people, and Destiny's gotten old, or Anthem's, obviously disappointed you, or Warframe isn't your jam, this is a really good medium because everything's kind of built into the game. You don't have to pay for anything if you don't want to, minus the new caveat, which is every character that releases now has their own battle pass, which is going to be kind of weird.
So weird. How they get you?
Yeah, but it's easy though.
Oh no, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
So the original characters, each one of them have their own battle pass, and they're included with the game. So you get Black Widow's battle pass, and if you complete all 40 levels at the end of her battle pass, you end up with 1,000 in-game credits, which is equivalent to another character's battle pass that comes out later. So there are some ways to not pay for anything and still, when Hawkeye comes out, you'll have that 1,000 credits on standby. So when he does release, boom, you have the battle pass. Okay, so Spider-Man's coming out on PlayStation. Cool. Let me go level up Kamala Khan, and I'll get the extra 1,000 credits from that, and then have that battle pass. So people are kind of up in arms about it, but it's more or less like looking before they leap at this point. So that's my 2 cents. Sorry.
There's one thing before we get to you guys. We will get to you guys in a second, I promise. But I did want to bring one thing up about the Avengers, is that I saw them post something that I thought was kind of like distasteful, but like no one else seems to really care, so maybe I just don't know. But like, of course, I'm very unfortunately, Chadwick Boseman passed away. Right, we all know this. It was very sad, very shocking for everyone. And I remember like either the day of or the day after, like the Avengers, the game of the Avengers Twitter account for the game was like they had a picture of like clearly their render of what the Black Panther logo would be, and it was the same day they announced Kate Bishop, and they had like a little card that was like, "Hey, we were gonna show you guys something, but because of the death of Chadwick Boseman, we're gonna hold off on showing you guys this until a later date." And it's just like, I was like, that was like kind of like, because like obviously there was no rumors about Black Panther being in the game, but like.
Oh no, there were tons of them.
Were they?
Yeah, there
were they?
Mhm.
Cause
And
like,
the whole roster leaked. He was the first one, and the first raid is Wakanda.
oh, okay, I didn't know that because I just without context, I was like, it seems like they're just trying to market after his death, but now that
I think they were very prepared to like show off all that at this war table.
Mm-hmm.
This happened like 2 days ago, and then they're like, "Yeah, we should probably hold that off. That won't be a good look."
Okay, that makes more
Yeah.
sense. That makes more sense.
They put a
So,
little-
what? Go ahead. What were
Yeah,
you
they
gonna
just put at the end of the round table, they're like, "Hey, we're just going to show you a little bit of this because what's happened in recent events during the round table," and they showed kind of like a teaser that he was going to be in the game, but they already leaked 12 characters that were going to be in the game, and he was one of them. So
Okay. So, what about you guys? You guys want to add anything to your Avengers? You're playing anything else? Let me know.
I'll get into Avengers because I have a different take.
Okay, go ahead. Shoot.
This is coming from a big Destiny guy. We're talking at least 1,200 hours in Destiny 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm right there with you on that.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
Mhm.
But I think the story mode was fantastic. I
Mhm.
think it was Spider-Man level good.
Ooh,
It was
really?
super fun. It was just a great use of those heroes. I think the combat in this game is not that great. It's real button mashy, and just I don't ever feel like I'm doing anything.
How high level is the character you're playing?
I just beat the story, so whatever it is at the end of the story, I haven't like started power leveling.
Okay, so don't count yourself out yet because I kind of felt the same way too early on because I was trying to play Thor, and it felt kind of clunky. I guess I'll use the term. But the more you play, you start unlocking additional okay, so like for the Hulk, for example, like a lot of his combos is square, 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 or triangle, 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 and vice versa. But now it's like, no, I can dash, go into a dash, shoulder charge, jump in the air, do a seismic slam, pop people in the air, go into a combo, then do his I forget what the move is called when he like starts smashing the ground, and then that pops people up. It irradiates the ground, and then I just start. It changes totally. That's what I was saying earlier, that it feels more like a tutorial for all the characters because it's really simplistic early on, but it starts picking up for sure.
Okay, I'll definitely keep. Yeah, my plan is just to get a character to max level and then see where I'm feeling with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, at this point, I'm like, it's fun. The story was really good. I'll probably jump in for more story content and characters once Spider-Man gets put in, and other characters like Kate Bishop, especially.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I also think there's a character that fits my play. So like, I really like playing Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I'm just like, It's okay. It's what I've been saying, and anytime anyone mentions it, like, what is the review you think it's gonna be and all this, it's the best 7 out of 10 I'm gonna play all year.
What's weird is that you picked Black Widow, who really I feel like is the most button mashy out of all of them so far, because she's the combo tech character.
Yeah,
So maybe
I usually like stuff like that. I like the combo tech thing and all that. Like, I didn't mind playing as her because I just think the movement for her feels right. Dodging with the Hulk for me never felt right.
Yeah, because like I said, it starts off real like I can probably just press 2 buttons and win the world, but now I'm dying a lot if I don't combo correct, or if I don't rage at the right time, if I don't use rage to deflect attacks, or if I don't dodge in time. You'll just gonna have you do like if you look at the warboard when you're looking at your missions, there's a few missions that are above the actual ship and they're just training missions. I started doing this like, oh, these are really easy, and I got to the 4th one and I couldn't beat it. I couldn't. Like, my Hulk is level 30 with I think like 72 power right now, and I couldn't beat it. So I struggled for like 2 hours trying to get through it. Finally got through it, and then the next one I immediately died when the mission started. It's just wave combat for this, for training. Like immediately, like a robot jumped on me, I got 2 shot, and that was it. Because if you don't understand the ins and outs of like how your character survives, like when you got to the Iron Man part, did you die a lot on that? Because it was really difficult.
No, not really.
So for me, that was really difficult. And then my friend James picked up on the Iron Man part really easy, and it was easy for him. But then I picked up the Thor part, that was easy for me and hard for him. So like I guess it just depends like how far in the game you get and how leveled your character is, but it does drastically change.
Really, for me, the character that I have like the least fun playing with is Kamala.
Really? That's
I
interesting.
just don't think she feels. This doesn't feel good to me, like to play as. Just sad because she's the most interesting character in the story.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
What about you, Josh? You've been quiet. You been anything?
No. I mean, hearing that you guys talk about Avengers makes me like more inclined to play it, because I just heard like, from what I understand, people said that it was marketed wrong. Where it's like if they would have marketed the story more, I probably would have been more interested. Although to be fair, I didn't try the beta. I should have tried the beta, but I didn't get a chance to. But I just been playing a lot of Gears of War. I'm a Gears fan, and
yeah, see the icon.
Multiplayer's fun. Yeah, you probably got that from the icon. Multiplayer's pretty fun. But I jump in here and out, and like I have like waves where I'll like play a lot of Gears, and then I'll complete the little like battle pass thing, and then I'll stop playing for this whole season. But then I'm also playing a little bit of Control.
Ooh, playing the DLC.
I haven't got to the DLC. I made a mistake here. I should have waited for to get it on PC, because I started becoming more of a PC gamer. It runs at 60 on PC. Even my PC can get it to go 60 FPS. It's only 30 on console. And there was some slowdown, and I was like, "Oh, I can deal with this." I got most of the way through the game, and I was like, "I'm gonna get it on PC because it was on sale." And now I got to start over. And I'm like, I think I should probably just finish it on console, honestly. But I will say I'm a big fan of Alan Wake, and the fact that like everything is connected now. Has to be like that meme where he's like connecting things. I think it's like Always Sunny. He's like, it's all connected. Like, they're doing like a connected universe. I'm like, yes, please give me more. Give me Alan Wake 2. But yeah, so because Alan Wake's one of my favorite games of all time. I'll be real. I love that game. Yeah? I really enjoyed it. So I love this.
Alan Wake was awesome.
And so like hearing the fact that he's in the game and like the DLC ties everything together, I'm like, oh, I got to get to it. But like I said, I bought the Ultimate Edition on Steam, and I was like, I got to start over now, don't I? Dang it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. But I might finish it on PS4 just because I already have it almost done.
Nice.
So. Good.
Been playing a lot of COD. Not here.
Warzone.
That new one, or are you just not interested, or what? The new one? Right? The Cold War, something like that.
Yeah. So here's the weird thing about Cold War is that they're talking about. There was like a point when Modern Warfare was kind of like in its prime, and they were saying, the next series of Call of Duty games are all just going to be linked multiplayer. So like if you purchase the next game, you're buying the campaign and zombies and any additional maps. But if you have Modern Warfare, that's the base game. And so it looks like they're kind of backpedaling on that. So I'm not sure yet. I'm waiting because who knows if it's going to be connected or not.
What do you guys think about Cold War?
It looks all right. It's another Black Ops game. Hopefully, it's
Yeah.
just Modern Warfare, but Black Ops, because this current Modern Warfare is like the first one to pull me back in. This is the first Call of Duty I've ever gone online to play multiplayer in by myself with no friends.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
fell off pretty hard after
Yeah.
like the third season. I didn't play much of it after that, but
Yeah. So
I enjoy it. So
I just that's insane to me because I feel like the multiplayer in this one is garbage.
really,
Like the map design, I can't stand it. I have to play shoot the ship or it's not fun.
Ryan with the hot takes tonight.
oh yeah.
Are
I
you
know.
playing Warzone, Ryan, or are you just playing the
I
Modern
play
Warfare?
Warzone and stuff. I played a shit ton of Black Ops 4. Like COD is something that
Yeah.
things that like keeps my friend group from like middle school together.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
wow.
We'll
great.
continually play COD or whatever the popular shooter is. We played Destiny for 4 years, and then we started playing Black Ops 4 again when Blackout came out because we're like, oh, we like battle royales, but we also got to invest into that multiplayer. I just can't stand the maps in this game. They're not 3 lanes, and they all feel like trash. Shit is the only way to play it. Gunplay in this game, though, I'll give it that. This is some of the tightest COD gunplay of any COD I've ever played.
I think that's why I like it so much is because, like, if you compare any shooter to Destiny right now, Destiny always just feels better than every shooter on the market. But for some reason, there's
Destiny
something
is
about
so
this.
tight.
Yeah, there's something about this Call of Duty in particular. I owned Black Ops 4, and
Same.
I played it, but I would only get on when my friends got on. If we call ourselves a squad, that's my group name. If the squad gets on, I'll get on. We'll play, and we'll have a good time. If they're not on, I won't touch it. We played it for the first month. I paid, I think, $80, for the game and whatever extras, and then played it for 1 month and never touched it again. This COD, I've put hundreds of hours in. I've never done that in a Call of Duty by myself before. I've never been an FPS guy. Always been a JRPG, RPG.
Yeah, brother.
Give me the MMOs.
Give me that
them
Xeno Saga 3.
Yeah.
Give me that Shin Megami Tensei. I'm excited to play that.
Oh
I
my
never-
god.
Oh,
Yeah.
One day I'll get to play it before I pass out. Before I
Yeah, if
die.
it ever comes out.
let me tell you though, because like I've been playing. I told you guys before we started recording, but I've been playing a lot of that Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 demo.
I can't do it, man.
Why not?
Because man, nostalgia doesn't sell me video games, unfortunately.
It's so
You're an
so much
outlier then, my
fun.
man.
See, like me, I played it with my brother when I was a kid, and I never really I think it was like 1 and 2 when I was a kid. I think I remember 2 more than I remember 1, to be honest, because I remember the hangar and I remember the I don't know what you call it, but the alien laboratory, right? I remember those like very vividly as like me being a kid, but like. Dude, like I don't know, like what about me wanting to get that game? I guess it was just the trailer, but I've been playing it. I've been playing it a ton. Like this is a demo. Like you level up, and I'm like level 12 on just the demo, which is just the warehouse, And like I guess my beef with it is like it's the warehouse demo, but to get it, you had to pre-order it.
That was backwards. I'm
I'm
why?
like I was gonna pre-order it anyway, but like.
Only digitally too.
Yeah, digitally I got it, and I was just like, why? Why?
You know what's weird?
Go ahead.
What's weird is that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 came out, right? I was a junior in high school.
Oh my god!
If that tells you anything, came out in 1999. I graduated. Oh wait, no. Okay, so no, I was a sophomore in high school. So it came out in 1999. I graduated in 01, if that tells you anything. So for me, it was like I was playing with my little brothers,
Oh, yeah?
and they might pick it up because that was kind of like their childhood. But for me, man, I was a Gran Turismo kid playing Resident Evil, being all the Final Fantasies.
Dude.
7 Remake, you played that?
I have it on the queue. Dude. My
backlog.
It's
Dude,
so
I know.
atrocious.
Dude, you need to put something off the queue.
I haven't even bought 7 Remake because of that. Like I have such a backlog.
Yeah,
7
my
Remake is so great, but also so annoying.
Really?
Like it is so perfect at what it's good at, but the stuff it's bad at, you're just like,
Really
why?
noticeable?
The stuff that's bad at those stuff the original was bad at.
Really? Cause the stuff that I got really annoyed with is just like the constant. Oh, we have to sneak up through these cracks because it's the loading screen. And there's no way around it, guys. And you're just like, you do that a lot in that game. Or like,
oh yeah, it's time to move on to the next generation. These hallway loading screens are getting a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
Dude, and like they say it's going away, but I see demos of like PS5 games like Godfall and whatnot, and like it starts off with like the person like going through the crevice. I'm like, you promised me that I didn't have to deal with this.
You.
I trusted you.
But then you look at that Ratchet and Clank demo, and they're shooting through portals.
Man, like that's one of those series I wish I could get into, but I never could.
I can't do platformers. I'm like a non-platformer, kind of non-FPS guy. I'm weird. It's weird.
I get you guys. I get you. When we want to talk weird, my main like game type is platformers and fighting games.
I love fighting.
What fighters you play? Like
What fighters?
Yeah, what kind of fighting games you play?
A bit of everything. My main is Street Fighter. I've been playing Street Fighter since Street Fighter 4.
Nice.
Oh,
I'm
man.
a combat guy, so.
Let me take you back in time again to
Take us back in time again.
a young middle school Antoine, right? At
Game we talked-
Blockbuster Video during a Friday night tournament that they used to have once a year in my area for a week-long rentals over the summer. Man, let me tell you, I've won 3 of these.
Nice.
I used to be a monster. I used to take my dad's lunch money playing Street Fighter, okay?
Hell yeah.
Street Fighters, until Street Fighter 5 came out, was my favorite thing. When it
Oh,
came
you don't like 5? I hear that a lot.
hot garbage. It's so bad, Sony gave it away for free. Okay.
It was only the base game.
When was the
That
last
a
time you
DLC
played
character.
5?
Huh?
What was the last update you played 5 at?
I haven't played 5 at all. I've played with friends, so I didn't purchase it. Because if I buy the game, like I don't ever have anybody around that wants to play fighter, so I'll go to a buddy's house. And I was like, man, I will not spend money on this.
Because it started out as hot garbage. It's a very good game now.
I imagine it's probably gotten better, right? But
It's fun as hell.
yeah,
You
I got the Street Fighter collection for the Switch, and I'm happy.
you want to hear my like Street Fighter 5
That
story?
Florida Spirit Strike, I'm glad that makes you happy.
You guys want to hear my Street Fighter 5 story?
Hit me.
Sure.
So, it's a little bit of a walk, but we'll get there, I promise. So I was working at a fast food joint in West Texas when the game came out, and there was this girl who was a coworker, and like, here's the thing, like nowadays I wouldn't want to ask a coworker out on a date. Don't do that, anyone. That's not typically a good idea. But as like a younger, college age kid, like, I wasn't thinking, So anyway, I was like, I really like this girl. And I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and like, I'm gonna ask her out. And she was kind of weird. Like she was a little bit like just a little white trash. But like, I'm a little white trash too. So she was like just a little bit more white trash. But like, I'm still white trash. I'm like, whatever. So like, I'm with it. So I'm like, I'll go ask her out. But like, she was in a weird situation when like she broke up with her boyfriend, but they're still living in the same apartment, and like he would come pick her up from like work, drop her off and pick her up one day, but they were living in the same apartment, but they were dating, right? But like I was like, a lot of red flags here. I'm saying a lot of red flags, but of course I wasn't paying attention because she was like nice to me, and she seemed like legitimately interested, which like, be honest, not a lot of women are. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna ask this girl out, and so I started asking her out. I got her number, and she gave me her number, and I was like, all right, cool. I was like, let's go see. I forgot what it was, but let's go see like a movie or something. And I was like, okay. She's like, okay, cool. Go ahead and pick me up, or I'll call you. I'll tell you my address. 30 minutes before the date or hour before the date, and we can go from there. I'm like, cool. So like an hour before the date comes up, no text. I text, don't want to be pushy. So I wait. I do the gentleman thing. I wait about 10-15 minutes. I'm like, hey, yo, like, are you about ready, to, give me are you about ready for the date or whatever? And still no response. So I wait like another 15, 20 minutes. Still nothing, right? And so my people I was talking to just wait like a whole hour, and if like she doesn't call or text, then she's just not gonna wanna, like, it's just like a no. I'm like, okay, cool. So I wait another 20 minutes, still nothing, right? And at that point, I'm like, well, obviously she doesn't really wanna hang out with me, so never mind, whatever. And I was really depressed, and so I picked up my PlayStation, and that was a weekend Street Fighter V came out, and I was like, well, I guess I'm doing this now. And so I played Street Fighter V that weekend. That's my story.
There you go. Street Fighter V picked you up when you were down. If only it was a better game, right, guys?
Yeah, I was like, that's.
I think it's good.
It was like the last time I played Street Fighter and the last time I asked a girl out. So I don't know what that tells you, but.
It was just a bad night all around, wasn't it?
Yeah, like it made it even worse somehow.
But then for me, again, fighting games are a social thing for me. Like I go to local tournaments. Me and my friends travel to Evo every year.
Nice.
So they're just like a big social thing for me.
Yeah, I've never been to Evo, but man, do I love fighting games with friends.
That's the best, dude.
I'm getting into them slowly but surely. I was always a Mortal Kombat guy. I played for a little bit. I was a casual player with Mortal Kombat X. Played it like once or twice when it came out with some friends. Didn't play it anymore. Got 11. Got really into it for a while, and then I go in and out with fighting games because like I'm not good at them, and I'm trying to get better at them. And my friend's been like put me in training mode, and there's an online training mode you can mess around with in Mortal Kombat 11. He's like, okay, I'm gonna just show you how to do some inputs and everything. I gotten a lot better. I still haven't played online, but I've been like doing better against like towers and stuff. So
For me, I just sit and grind online for hours.
yeah, that's how I am with Gears of War. I can just play that for like hours without realizing it. Like a horde mode, you go by 50 waves, you're like 3 hours. And...
Man, Mortal Kombat is like the hardest fighting game to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna learn how to do this today.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. I know. It probably took me like 6 months before I was even able to like do some basic like cancel into something else. I'm getting there, but
It depends on where your background is, especially if you're coming from like a Street Fighter background like you and me. Not doing half circles and shit messes with my brain. My brain knows how to do that motion. It is ingrained. It's giving me carpal tunnel.
The only real fighting game, and like you guys are probably like, it's not even a real fighting game, but the only like fighting game thing I got really into was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Like I love that game so much.
So
like
good.
one of the only few another funny story. One of the only few games to make me cry was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And you're like,
was it the opening?
No, it actually wasn't the game itself. It was the Joker trailer.
Oh yeah, the Joker reveal. Oh, so
like
good.
I caught it. I caught it too, and no one believed me. I'm like I like to make crazy like predictions, and they're always wrong. But just one like occasionally I get it right, and the one I got right was guys, Joker's gonna be a DLC character in Super Smash Brothers, and people were like, no way, that's stupid. And then I had people text me that night because I was working, and they go, how the heck did you call that? And then that night, well, go ahead.
Nintendo was able to put a Persona 5 character in Smash Brothers, and we still haven't seen Shin Megami Tensei yet.
I mean, we've seen the new trailer on the direct, not the direct.
Hey, we're still making this. That's about it, right?
We saw the main character.
Give it to me already.
It has a Western, what do you call it, like a worldwide release, which is huge. Because I was like,
that's awesome, yeah.
That's Sega money. I'm like, when is Sega gonna put their money into it and be like, yo, worldwide release? And there you go. It's funny, Yakuza 7 didn't get one.
I was gonna say, if you played the Yakuza games, I was gonna segue into that because those games are fucking great.
Oh my god, those games are so much.
I wish I could get into them, but I just struggle with the subtitles because I watch anime with subtitles no problem, movie subtitles no problem, but when it comes to video games and subtitles, I struggle. So that's why I'm excited about the new one, because it's a new story and it's dubbed, and you got George Sakai as the main bad guy. So I'm all that stuff is cool, but I have Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami for I got them from PS Plus, and I've played them, but I'm just I get just because it's not I just can't. I just can't it's me tapping my head and my stomach at the same time. You know what I'm talking about?
It's
you
because
watch
you need to
anime
work on your
subtitles,
Sharingan, man.
You watch your anime subtitle, or is it just a different thing?
Oh no, it's
Like-
different thing because like I can just focus on that like primarily. Like
Okay.
anime is like that's just all my attention is going to reading subtitles, and so I get it.
Back to anime. What are you guys' opinions on dubs? The sub versus dub debate.
This is an old. It just depends on the show.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree. It really
Like
depends on-
if it's, I'll say this, and this is a rule of thumb, but this is my opinion. If it's like a moe show, you know, like cute girls doing cute things, the sub is almost always superior. Not saying the dub is always bad, but just because Japanese voice actors, they know how to like get their voices to that a pitch and just a type of cadence that like
Moe
Western,
pitch.
yeah, that there's like Western actors they just can't do. Like something about the language is can't do. So like if I'm watching like a moe show like K-On! Or like Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, like those have great dubs, but like I'm gonna watch the sub just because like, you know, like it sounds kind of weird, but like when you watch those things sub, you feel it more, you know, like. But like the opposite though, and it's like let me finish my point real quick. I'll let you talk. But like the opposite, no, you're good. The opposite is like I think like English is better at like masculine voices. So like My Hero Academia, bring that show up again. Like, I can't stand the sub version because I don't like the voices of All Might or Deku because I think they just, like, sound so off. Like, All Might's supposed to be this, like, big, strong, you know, hero dude, and his, like, Japanese voice is so high-pitched. I'm like, and then, like, Deku, and maybe it's just because I watched the dub first, probably, but, like, Deku to me is, like, he's kind of like the nerdy kid with, like, the higher voice, you know, pitch and whatnot. And then, I see you now, Antron. Hi.
You got the face cam. He's
I
gonna
had,
say
to,
something.
I had to turn my camera on for this one.
Oh no! Yes, I love it.
What am I
Sub
missing here?
are than dubs. If you ever watch High School DxD dub the first episode, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
I love that so much. Baka.
I tried to turn my face cam on, but it was like, no, we're not doing it.
Yeah,
So
I don't have mine plugged in. You
Never
guys won't
mind.
see this.
I mean,
Okay,
it
I
just
just had to-
depends.
had to put a pin in my point.
You're good. You're good. It just to me, it just depends on the show. But what are you guys thinking?
Well, I enjoy dubs.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I keep cutting you off.
I think the invention of the simuldub ruined dubs.
Mhm.
Yes.
But they're so sped now that they don't feel right. Like a show you and me are both watching now, God of High School. The dub came out for that. I just wanted to check that out.
Don't do it.
Oh, it's the worst. It is the worst.
It's bad enough when they try to translate Japanese voices, but now they're trying to translate a manhwa.
I'm just like, oh baby, all right, let's do that.
So
I'm one of the people, I stand the classic dubs. Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, Dragon Ball, things I grew up on. I stand those. I think that shows with American characters usually have really good dubs. Like Black Lagoon is my favorite example for that.
oh yeah, like you have to watch Black Lagoon dubbed. Like I stand by that.
Especially because like you need to hear fucking Revy cursing and shit.
Well, there's this whole entire
just needs
arc.
that feel.
There's this whole entire arc in Black Lagoon that makes no sense if you watch it in Japanese.
Yeah, no, I'm just like that. Just needs to be watched in English. Same with like I think Panty and Stockings, one of them.
Oh, it's great dub.
But then I think for literally everything else, I need to watch it subbed.
It's fine. It's all about preferences. Like I think that's such like a tired debate. You know, that's just been around.
Yeah,
for
it's just one thing to bring up. We don't. I mean, just.
Yeah, once you get older, like I used to fight in the sub versus dub, you know, wars.
I was
Wars-
there on the
The
front line.
Wars of 2010.
Like
I was in the trenches.
I served my time in that war. I'm over it now.
Here's my opinion: is that if it's something that I've watched before, and I've watched sub more than likely I've watched it sub first, and I'm like, I need some background noise, and I'm interested, like, oh man, hey, let me watch this scene in Beyond the Boundary or ReZero real quick while I do some paperwork. I can't read and do my work and be entertained at the same time, right? So I'll turn on a sub for something like that so that I can know what's going on with, the sounds and stuff that's happening on screen. That's only one time out of 10 that I watch an anime subbed, or if my fiance watches, because she doesn't like subtitles. But I think that true to form, whenever something is subbed, right, it's a better translation typically of what's going on in the scene, because they try to get an actual translator to convey the message of what the character is saying. But then when you watch it dubbed, they Americanize the conversations, and it's bad. It is so bad.
You don't see that happening too often anymore. Like back in the day, yes, but like when College Captain Sakura, you got Tomoyo Madison. But nowadays, I don't see that that often.
And then you hear the same 5 voices too. Oh.
Yeah, that's a problem with Funimation, especially. It's like, oh, Chris Abbott, okay.
That's the problem with Funimation. Yeah.
I hear Vegeta. Sorry, that's all I hear now. Okay.
They have bigger problems than that.
Why is Piccolo a 5'2" tall female right now? This is not cool. Like, what's wrong with this scene?
That's like the Dragon Ball Z, like the Dragon Ball subbed is way worse, because like they had the same person be Goku, like the same woman be Goku for 50 years now, and it's just like when he's going Super Saiyan, it's just like some old grandma trying to do it. So I think that's one of the series. Like I said, dubs better for masculine shows.
Yeah.
I don't know, Goku with that super high pitched Bruce Lee, like when he does a bunch of hits and shit, that hits different, man. I'm for it.
And then Vegeta's voice in Japanese sounds way less of a bitch.
Vegeta sounds like a bad motherfucker in Japanese.
Oh my god! And like, it's a difference between Kakarot and Kakaroto.
Yes.
So different.
Oh, this is off topic, but I just thought of it randomly. Did you guys ever see that YouTube video going around that's like SpongeBob anime?
Oh yeah, it's classic. That's been around for a couple years now.
Good.
So good. The full episode came out recently. It was great.
Yeah, I loved it. They made Patrick the wise teacher character, and he's like really dumb in the normal show. I think that's hilarious.
Because I remember just the Tokyo Ghoul opening. I'm like, this is fun. Like 5 years ago.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of a they didn't make Shaggy into an anime, because that'd have been way better. Ultra Instinct Shaggy.
Ed Boon should have put Shaggy as a DOC fighter in Mortal Kombat 11, but he didn't.
Oh, people.
Because Ed Boon is lazy. That's just what I'm saying.
Yeah, let's just put every movie character like Terminator and RoboCop, but we can't get Shaggy. I call bullshit.
Y'all own Shaggy. You own Shaggy.
It's WB. I do own Shaggy, don't they?
So before we get to the end of the show, because we have about 20 minutes left, I wanted to talk about, do you guys have any series that has put like a positive impact in your life, or maybe not like as extreme, but like at least maybe made you think about something differently, or it could just be like made you think about a new hobby or made you interested in a new hobby? Because you have anything like that? Because I know
hurt some feelings. You ready?
Oh, go ahead. You start.
I stopped playing music for a while. Like I said, I play instruments, and then I watched a anime that made the whole entire world cry, called "Your Lie in April."
Oh no!
So I didn't revisit this in a long time, but my fiance and I were at Second and Charles nearby. It's like they sell manga, comic books, old records, and stuff. And she was like, "Hey, what's some kind of like drama manga that I can get into?" Because she reads comic books, she never reads manga. And the first thing, I grabbed 2 books. I grabbed the Magus Bride book 1, because I don't know if you guys have watched or read.
Oh, it's great.
The Magus Bride.
Oh, fantastic.
Beautiful anime, beautiful manga. So she's hooked on that. And then I was like, "Do you need something, for a good cry?" And she was like, "Yeah, what do you got?" So I grabbed book 1 of Your Lie in April, and she read the first book. And she asked me, she's like, "Hey, do you mind pulling out your clarinet and playing something, or like your flute or something?" I was like, "Yeah, cool." So kind of like, because she's watching, people talk about instruments and music and stuff, it kind of brought upon, that hobby again, which was really neat.
Oh, that's cool. You guys got any similar stories?
I mean,
because I can tell you my story. Because I have several. Well, one of them I'll be quick. Okay, the quick one is Food Wars, right?
Yes.
Like Food Wars, of course, obviously made me want to learn how to cook, and it's one of the first shows. That and also kind of funny reference was a Cooking with Greggy. I think I watched those around the same sort of time, and I'm just like, and again, like I never thought I could cook before, and I'm just like, man, like watching that. Like watching, like, you know, Yukihiro Soma be such a badass. I'm like, I really want to try cooking, and so I did. And you know, I talked about that earlier on, but man, like one of the most influential series, and like I have to mention it. Okay, it's my icon. I have to mention it. But the most influential thing, the thing that I love more than most relatives, I'm just gonna say this, and that's not a joke. Like, that I love is the Monogatari series, or Monogatari series.
I wondered when we were going to get here.
That show is one of the most just impactful, one of the most, I think, self-reflective anime I have ever watched. Like, there was this one arc at the very end of second season. And I won't tell you the whole entire story because it's like the thing that the season was building up to, right? But there's this one character, her name is Naruto, and like everyone in Bakemonogatari, the first series, everyone hated Naruto. Even the people watching it, like Naruto is such an annoying brat, and she's like the only girl that like everyone hated. But like the series like plays with that because they make her character as someone that people kind of just like brush off, right? Like, oh, we don't care about you. You're just like annoying, like helpless boy girl. And Naruto gets like, because of it, and because of like she gets kind of possessed by a snake god, she becomes kind of crazy, and she becomes this god, and who's gonna like very vengeful person, who she's obsessed because this guy, the main character Aoyagi, doesn't love her, and she wants him to love her, but he just sees her as this like a little sister, as like a little kid, and he won't see her as an adult, even though she's trying her best to make him take him serious, make her take him seriously, but he never does, right? And Aoyagi is actually like away from the majority of the arc, and they bring in this guy named Kaiki, who's like, he's best girl. If you all know Kaiki, he's best girl, and he's like the adult, like he's one of the few like actual grown up characters, and so it's like a 5 or 6 episode story arc. And Kaiki goes into, because she's missing, like her parents are like, where are my daughter? Because she's like chilling out at like a shrine being like a snake god, right? And he goes into like her room and he sees something like in her closet, because her parents are like, oh, she never wanted us to look in the closet. What's in the closet? He's like, all right, let me look. And like you don't see what it is, but he's like shocked at it, right? And so at the end, he finally confronts her, and she's about to kill him because he's like telling her like, no one ever loved me. I'm going to kill Aoyagi. I'm going to kill all his friends. You know, I'm going to kill, like, you know, his little sisters. I'm going to kill everyone. And, like, she's so passionate, angry. And he's like, you could make manga. Because what was in her closet was manga that was written down that she had done, but she was too ashamed about. Because that was a passion of hers. And he's like, you are so much stuck trying to focus on people who love you. Focus on trying to get people who love you, who don't, to get the affection of people who will never see you in the same way they see you. And that is all you're obsessed about. That you so much would go as far as to do something like this. When you don't have to. You're talented. You can read manga. You can write manga. You can make a name for yourself. But you're stuck, obsessed about these childish things. And then, you know, she kind of comes to this realization, like, fuck, I can write manga. And like after seeing that, I remember I was like, man, like what a powerful message that is, right? You know, because like don't we all, I guess like as a young kid, like that's what I was doing. You know, I was just like, just obsessed with other people, when I'm just like, yeah, but like you're focusing on this stuff that doesn't really matter when you could be doing something else, something that you're passionate for, and you can grow that way. So it's one of the most beautiful scenes. Like, I love this series. There's a lot more than just that one series. But, like, if I ever do a Monogatari video, it's going to be called You Can Draw Manga. Because that is, like, one of the best. Not the best scene, but just of self-growth, one of the best scenes. But you guys think about anything or no?
I got It's kind of an anime, but it's also just kind of like on topic with anime.
Mm-hmm.
For me, anime, for a lot of people, it's not really a social thing. It's something like it's like watching a TV show. For me and my like friend group, watching anime was a social thing. Is a social thing before like this whole thing hit. It was we would since I think God Sword Art Online season 1. We watched anime seasonal, like we'd pick 5 shows and then watch them every Saturday. So to me, it's just always been something that's like very kept like the friend group together and stuff. So to me, there's so many shows I can think of that have like very special moments to me. Of big moments that like I think of like that just really brought us all together. It's like the ending of Anohana. Especially because of some personal stuff going on around that time when we watched that hit like a truck. So that's the kind of what I think of when I think of like anime that's impacted me.
Okay. You got anything, Josh, or no? It's okay if you don't.
What?
You have like.
Well, like I mean, just like it's kind of tropey, but like I watch a lot of shonen, and whenever like for example, the Todoroki fight in My Hero Academia. I know we didn't shit on it, but we were kind of like, it's not like,
Oh, great scene! I love that. I love that fight.
The whole thing where his mom tells him like, and I would watch him a dub, so you can shit on me all you want, but she says it's okay to become who you want to be. For some reason, that sticks with me to this day. Like he was so worried about like pleasing everybody else. I'm a people pleaser typically, so I was worried about so much about my other people making them happy that I didn't focus on myself. And for some reason, that scene always sticks with me, and I always remember that like. It's okay to be. You're not a prisoner of your lineage. It's okay to become who you want to be.
Yeah, like that line when Deku tells him, "It's your power, or it's your quirk, isn't it? It's yours, not his." Like I think about that so often because that was such a great line. As much as I memed after it, that line of like, "It is your quirk, not his," is like such a powerful line. I love that scene too.
Yeah.
Speaking of this aspect, we do like group watches even now. We try to do like watch parties and stuff on Netflix and in our group because, like you said, sometimes in the pandemic you have to find ways to keep the friends together and keep everybody social, and that keeps people from being depressed and stuff. So it's a good thing that you and your friends keep it social, I think.
It's just to me, there's something about watching anime as a group of friends that just really is fun.
Yeah,
we like. As much as I don't like Dragon Ball Super, some of the most fun I had ever watching anime was watching the end of the Tournament of Power with people.
I was
the hype levels on the couch when we were watching it.
We didn't even talk about that part. I know, like, we're getting a little long in the tooth here, but, like, just the cultural aspect, I guess, of anime, of just, like, we're all watching the same show, we're all watching Re:Zero, we're all watching Dragon Ball Super. Like, that part is such a great part about the community, and that's what I love about it. Man,
that scene when Goku rode up the beam with his own beam and then smashed it. Oh my god, that was so hype. Me and my friends were all cheering. It was awesome. And I'm not, like I said, not the biggest DBZ fan, but when you're watching with the boys, the fam, the friends, whoever you're with, it makes it that much better because you get to experience it together. Right?
Oh yeah, just the whole fight with Jiren was just at height levels.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, is there anything else you'd like to add before we call this a daisy?
Yeah, something we didn't talk about. God of High School.
Oh okay. Yes,
I've heard about that. I haven't watched it. Which
you haven't watched it yet?
Not surprised, but I will. If we do another episode of this, I don't know how often you want to do this, but I'm definitely down to do another one. I will watch some more anime so we can talk about
Hold on, hang on. Pause. Time out. How dare you call yourself a shonen fan and you've missed the first 8 episodes of probably what I would consider one of the best shonen in the last 10 years.
You know what? Look, like I said, it's just the whole pandemic. I haven't had much time. That's my example. I mean, I told you guys going into this, I haven't watched much anime in a while. So I'm sorry, I'm not up to date on my current shows.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah. I've definitely heard good things about God of High School though.
So God of High School is done by Webtoon in conjunction with Crunchyroll, and this is their second one. The other one was Tower of God, which is like Tower of Simp, I'll say instead.
Been there.
I'm in.
100% king of all simps. but this show is fantastic. It's essentially Dragon Ball Z, Tournament of Power. However, they're not fluffing the story to win awards. Essentially, what I would like to say, like they're literally like, okay, we have a match coming up. Cool. There's like 10 minutes of like setup. We may have a problem to resolve, and then we go in and we fight. And then the next episode is like, oh, somebody's in trouble. Okay, cool. We resolve it. 10 minutes later, the tournament's back on. It's time to fight. Like the way that the pacing in this show is, like, if they would have taken One Piece and gave it the got a high school treatment, One Piece would be fantastic. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that.
I agree. One Piece definitely suffers from pacing issues, which we've discussed. But
So I actually have the reverse problem here. I think the pacing in this show is utter garbage.
Really? Do you think it's too fast
The
paced?
show, there's no plot. Like, and now it's also just. It started out as this like really cool martial arts anime, and now it's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure budget.
Hey, JoJo! There was a JoJo reference in ReZero the other day.
Okay, so yes, it is very fast paced, which doesn't leave much for a plot, but the plot's there. They bake it into what I feel like is the whole story. So this is the literal first 30 seconds of the show, so I wouldn't include this as a spoiler. Something crazy happens. Somebody blows up an island.
oh jeez.
Right? It happens. The island has a giant cross on it. You have no idea what's going on. 2 seconds later, this guy has a cross on his hand, and you're like, "Oh, hey, that guy's probably the guy that did it." The show is based off of, these people that have these. It's like based around these 8 people, I think, 6 or 8 people that have special powers, and they're trying to find the key to the gods, essentially. And
They have stands. Let's be real. They're stands.
No, seriously, they do take from JoJo. One of the characters, the dude with the aqua hair, the shark.
Yeah.
He's literally a JoJo character, and he's got the same voice.
Yep.
He's voiced by a dude from JoJo's, like literally. So yes, it is JoJo's Bizarre Martial Arts Tournament for real. But if you watch the show, you'll see that there is kind of like an over-assuming plot, and it's kind of like, oh, who's on whose side. There's like 3 factions essentially. You have your 3 main characters. You have this faction trying to control the world from behind. You have the people trying to control the world with this tournament, and then you have everybody in between, and they're all trying to fight to get a wish granted essentially. So to me, it's very fast paced, which is nice because we're going to fit this in 12 to 24 episodes, right? Which is fantastic for a lot of anime. Like, we don't need 1,000 episodes, to figure what's on.
Isn't the manhwa super long?
Yes, the manhwa is super, but it's a webtoon though. So super long is like 5 pages a chapter or 10 pages in the next chapter. So
Okay.
it's kind of like one of those things where webtoons are like. Have you ever been on Facebook after talking about anime and you get those like webtoononomics?
There's one about like Hades and like Aphrodite.
That's actually really good. I've read that.
Yeah, that was really good. I make an anime about that one. That one's good.
You guys are getting the good ones though. Ones I'm getting is like, my mom wants to play a wrestling game, but why is she in my pants?
Oh yeah, I get like the borderline hentai ones. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh, you mean after you've talked about domestic girlfriend? Oh my.
To be fair, the one we're talking about, the one with like Hades and Persephone, was there was some scenes too.
They are not borderline. Every single manhwa literally either has a stepmom in it that doesn't like the dad but loves the son, or an office worker that somehow becomes the most attractive thing in the world to females. It's really weird. But they're all really short. They're if you were to look up the chapters, you probably get like 10 pages per. So they're very short. It's not like reading a regular manga. But yeah, I would suggest if anybody hasn't watched it yet, take a look. It's a quick starting. 3 people that don't know each other become friends instant, and then it goes from there. Like they just go boom, boom, boom. There's no power up scenes. There's no 30 minutes of none of that.
I think if this show anything, it has the best fight scene since My Hero Season 2.
Ooh, have you watched
My Hero Season 2 did not have good fight scenes, so I don't know what you're talking about.
But have you watched Fire Force though?
Have you seen JoJo? JoJo Part
great. I love JoJo.
JoJo Part 5. JoJo
I
Part
can't
4.
take JoJo seriously. I can't say JoJo's the best
See,
anything.
people
except-
say that. People like people tell me that I can't take JoJo seriously. I'm like, you're not supposed to.
JoJo is so over the top that that's why it's good. It's like so
But
crazy.
that's
Just
what
ready
I
for part 6 so I can get to part 7.
Right, but that's what I mean though. Like it's so over the top, it's so crazy that like if I was to critically talk about JoJo's, I wouldn't be able to take myself seriously in judging it critically because it's really hard to do that, you know. It's a great anime and manga. The manga's fantastic.
The manga's great.
But if you're talking best fight scenes, a show that's been highly underrated in my opinion, Fire Force is fantastic. You want some good fights?
I hate that show.
Fire Force. I watched the first half of the first season.
Fire Force
I
is
was like,
bad.
oh lordy, and I've read the manga, and I'm like, is this just going to turn out how Soul Eater did? Well, it wasn't very good.
No, it gets better.
Yeah.
What's crazy about Fire Force is that if you watch it and you dissect it while you're watching it, it has literally every single anime trope from shonen, but does it better, in my opinion. Like they take parts from everything. If you watch, you're like, oh man, that's definitely something out of Dragon Ball Z right there. This is a move out of this. The character, his name is I can't think of his name.
Foot-chan. Foot-kun.
No, not him, but the kid, the knight. I can't think of his name.
King Arthur-chan.
Arthur. Like he's the trope. So Demon Slayer.
Yeah, that's the show. That is a show.
So
It's a show.
The dude that work the lightning attacks that you know can only bring his power out when he's knocked out, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Like Arthur from Fire Force is a trope of him. Like so all the characters have.
That's true. Yeah.
Do you have, and it's kind of like that character, but do you have that one guy who's like super like, oh, this guy's kind of dorky and he's kind of a nerd and he's kind of a coward, but like when some shit goes down, he becomes the most terrifying motherfucker in the room. He's like, nah, you're gonna be afraid of me, and like he's like, oh man, he posted up. Do you have that guy? That's my
that kind of character.
That is my favorite trope of anime. I love it when they have that character.
They have the girl that we go to, like, we're gonna go save this person, and she's like, well, no, I actually like being in danger, so I'm gonna go be a bad guy, and she just walks away. Like they have all kinds of characters that, and they flesh them out. It's not like we see them for a second, we never see them again. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. They have one of the best. Like, so in anime, there's not a huge representation of POC. Mm-hmm. And in this particular one, they made one of the most badass characters in this anime a black guy, and that to me, I was like, oh,
that's important.
This dude is stomping everyone. They didn't give him a crazy blonde afro. They didn't make him talk weird. They didn't give him any like stupid quirks. He takes a step in the ground and there's an explosion. Like it's awesome. So
I feel like the guy who makes that in Soul Eater is very good at that.
Yeah. No, I agree. Soul Eater was really good.
There was that the one character in Soul Eater who was also, he was a background character, yes, but he was a bad motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fought like giant fist gauntlets.
Well, I didn't want to bring up Fire Force because it is kind of like a misnomer when it comes to the anime world.
I think the story's a little weak, but it's really well done for fight scenes. I'll give you that.
It does pick up.
I didn't like
the season.
Yeah, it's out. It's ongoing right now.
See, I didn't
but is
like
it better?
Yeah.
I'll give it a try.
I didn't like it because of how they would treat like the women characters.
Yeah,
like,
so
like the last episode I saw was like you have like what's her name, the cat girl, right?
Yeah.
Maki.
Yeah, Maki, and it's just like, oh man, I tripped and I actually touched your titty, and or I actually pants you, or my face is, and I was like, okay, that's like one trope in anime that just.
So, do you know why they did that? You know why they did that though, right?
I don't know, like before I let you say your piece, and I will let you say your piece, but like the one that really got me frustrated is like there's a scene when like she's in a situation when like like she's about to die, and I'm just like they've been using this character as like a punching bag throughout the whole entire season, and I'm just like, yo, like post up for a second, like show this guy, like beat this guy up, you know, let you beat this guy up because this like series has been teaching us a doormat. And no, the main character comes in and saves her, and then it's like this one static shot of her like crying that like goes on for 2 seconds. I'm like, this is really great when Monogatari season 2 did it, you know.
Well, so here's the problem: is that scene, if you go back and watch it again, doesn't play out quite the way you think it does. So
Okay.
the reason why it goes this way is because imagine your best friend in the whole entire world, right? You've looked up to this person your whole entire life. They've always been there for you. They've always helped you when you've been in trouble.
Kanye.
And yeah, he is fucking Kanye. Yes, you're correct. And then suddenly you find out that he makes child pornography. What do?
Me personally, I would say I'm not talking to you anymore, but that's just me.
But at the same time, wouldn't you try to save that person? Wouldn't you try to make them at least give them the benefit of the doubt and figure out, okay, so what's going on here? How can we fix this? Why are you doing this, right? This is the position that this character is in, essentially. So what happens is she's just completely thrown off. She doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know what to think because her hero in front of her is doing something terrible to children. Not that there's pornography in this, and it's not child porn. It was just an example.
He's killing them. He's like murdering them.
Yes. So what happens is she's dazed. She's out of it. At this point, if you're playing a video game, somebody's beating the crap out of you and you just can't win for whatever reason, you ever get in a funk and you just kind of like die over and over again and you just like don't care, kind of? You're just like over it. She gets to the point where she starts just taking this mollywopping. And then the hero does come to try to knock her out of it. He's like, hey, you need to wake up. He needs to be stopped. And then he ends up fighting this person. He doesn't beat him. Somebody comes in and saves him, which is even cooler to me because they always make this particular character seem like he should be able to win every fight, but he rarely does.
Hey boy,
he
gone.
always needs help. Yeah. So I think that when you look at the layers of the situation, it's completely different as opposed to looking at face value. The reason why they use this trope is because, like I said, every character in Fire Force, if you watch it and analyze each character, each one is a particular trope from a different anime. Every single one of them. And her particular character, unfortunately, because she's a female, she has an ability where she is a cat and she gains ears and a tail, and she can use them. She can use them to control fire. But she has a detriment that sometimes it turns on. It's called Lucky Lecher. That like sometimes she finds herself in lecherous positions because it activates because she uses her power too much. So eventually she evolves from that and she becomes a priestess, and it stops happening more, and they stop doing it more. And then I think maybe like in one random episode it happened randomly in a bad situation, but typically it doesn't happen anymore. Okay. She's one of the priestesses now, so she kind of like comes out and prays, you know, to release the fire souls or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, that is kind of like the weirdest part of the show, but it is another trope. So
I mean,
sorry.
The show that I couldn't get through because of that was Seven Deadly Sins. Also the art style.
Yeah. There's a lot of anime that have that though. There's always that one character that's a little, typically a female character, a little too pervy, needs to be saved, but this character seldom needs to be saved except in that one instance. But it was a psychological thing.
I guess for me, for me, it's like in Seven Deadly Sins, like there's so many badass women, and like yeah, they're all sexy, like they're all half naked, but like also like so are the dudes, so it's like, you know, it's equal opportunity sort of thing. Similar to Fairy Tail, like when like everyone's like even the guys are half naked, so like that doesn't really bother me, but like, you know, there's also things like you had the other character who was the leader of like the 8th division or whatever it was, who was bad, but then she turned good when the main character kicked her ass. She's like, oh, I'm good now because the man beat me up. And then you have like the blonde priestess chick who was like, yo, like, you know, she was kicked around several times too. And then the only person who was cool was like the witch woman. but like they take her away. Like at least when I was watching, I'm pretty sure they bring her back, but they took her away, and I was like, man, she's like the coolest character, the most badass woman character, and she's like gone throughout like this whole entire arc.
So the most badass female character in the show is the lieutenant, the chick that's in it in the very beginning. She's every time somebody refers to her, she's like, "Did you call me an ogre?" And then she beats them up. Like when she gets like her, because like they find somebody to help them like upgrade their equipment and stuff. She ends up like becoming like the controller of drones, and she's a badass, man. She's fist fighting everybody. She doesn't care about your powers or anything. She's going to punch you in the face. And the chick from the other group, the one that ended up falling for the MC, she's a badass too. The only reason why she fell for him is because he didn't do the one thing that every male does, which is bow to her, right? He's the only one that did not do it.
And it was like a bow and arrow situation.
Yeah, exactly. Like every man she sees, she is stepping on and looking down on and using as a table or using as a ladder. Yeah, and then the one person that is stubborn and stands up to her, she's like, "Oh crap, he's not falling for it." That means he's got to be the one.
Oh, you changed my mind. I might give it a second look. You convinced me. Gentlemen,
it's not every anime is for everyone.
That's
right?
fine. Yeah, I ain't gonna have someone telling me to look up like Yuri. That's not gonna be for everyone.
Right.
Brought that back, gentlemen. You have anything to add before we say goodbye for the evening?
Yeah, I didn't even get to bring up school days tonight. Great night.
We'll have another day. We'll have another day when we bring up school days. But what about you? What about you, Ryan?
Let me think here. Is there anything else I need to talk about? Nah, I think we're good. Oh.
What about you, Josh? You want to have any closing thoughts?
This is really fun. Thanks for having me on.
Do you guys again? Like, let's just be real for a second. This has been a lot of fun. I'm not expecting anyone to really like listen to a 2-hour podcast. Honestly, I never have. But if you guys want to go ahead, pimp out your Twitter or your Twitch channels or anything else, you can go ahead and do that. Antoine, you have anything you want to pimp out before we go?
Yeah, you guys can find me literally after this. Well, I guess not after this if it's being put on YouTube, but you can find me on Twitch TV/Ninja TOINE Ninja Twan. That's literally everything. If you Google Ninja Twan, you'll find me literally everywhere. I'm the only one, so
okay.
I got lucky.
Ryan, you got anything you want to pimp out?
Let's see. You can find me pretty much anywhere at Ryan the Lion 97 for pretty much Twitch, Twitter, podcast, whatever I'm doing.
Okay. What about you, Josh?
I have a Twitter, but not
really. You use it? All right.
It's a bunch of I use it, but it's a bunch of memes. It's not really anything worth following for.
All right, whatever.
What else do you use Twitter for?
It's also my real name. I mean, if you really want to.
Well then, gentlemen, it's been a very fun time. It's been a very good pleasure, and I hope everyone listening had a fun time, because I sure had a fun time, and I think these gentlemen had a fun time too. So y'all all have a blessed day.